Does it work now? Did it work? Does it work? Is it working now? I have no idea why that happened. Okay. So everything has to be done all over again. Wow. Okay, let me see. Is this connected? This is okay. All okay. Let's see. Volume worked for a bit, then the volume stopped. Oh, he died. He died. Much better. It's live. It's working. Thank the maker. All good. You're good. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we might be okay. Yeah. It looks like my mic bars moved. Okay. Woohoo! There we go. All right. We'll do it live. F it. Is that the thing? Okay. Okay, one sec. Before we get started with tonight's show, I want to thank the super chatters from last week. We got Ryan, movie reviews with Ryan Lane, putting out his movie reviews 2 a week. He's also a beloved channel member, so I thank you so much, man, for that. As well as the Ace Avenue. Thank you, the Ace Avenue, so much for your super chat from last week. Thank you for being a channel member. Also a great guy, does movie reviews, does TV reviews, does sports commentary. If you guys are into sports, definitely check out the Ace Avenue. Both fantastic guys, both amazing channel members and supporters of the channel. So thank you guys so much and welcome everybody. Round 2 to the community night tonight. We are actually now going to take your live comments and questions. I'm glad that I've gotten into the habit of scrolling down a bit to see if I'm muted. I didn't think I was going to be muted. I just did it out of the habit, and I don't know what happened. Somehow I was on a stream literally like 15 minutes, well, at this point now it's like half an hour ago, and my mic was working just fine. Somewhere between that stream and getting up to go get a bottle of water, I unplugged my mic. I did something. So thank you guys for letting me know that. Absolutely. And what I was saying before, the important thing that I was saying, it's storming outside. I don't know if I'm going to lose power, because when we have a storm like this, sometimes my house loses power. So if I disappear, that is why. And now we know why you guys couldn't hear me. So now that we're off to a great start, a great start to the show, let's go back. You know what's funny is I can change my answer for this now, can't I? So Film Review Central, thank you so much, dude, for sending in the question. It says, "Hey mate, always such a big fan of your content. What's one actor and actress collaboration that hasn't happened, and who would you like to see?" Well, it's funny that you asked this question because really, I haven't really had any time to think about it. But I think one of the actors I would love to see, I'm off the rails now. I'm just going crazy. I would say you get Jenna Ortega with Timothy Chalamet. Let's go with that one. I think they're both up and comers. I think they're good actors and actresses, and I think that they would be great. I think that they would be great. I'm just checking to make sure we're not muted anymore. Okay. Let's keep going. Thank you everyone who's being here, and thank you everyone who's being patient with this. Dakota Man Movies says, "Hey Zach, did you see the Deadpool Wolverine PSA?" Well, thank you so much for sending that in, man. Thank you for being here tonight. And I'm assuming, what I was going to say before everything went off the rails, I'm assuming the PSA that you're talking about is the one where they're in the theater and they're telling people to turn off their phones. I did see that one. Not in my theater. It's not playing in my theater, not at the moment anyways, but I saw it online. Someone was grateful. Well, someone was nice enough to record in the movie theater and put that online for me to see. So I think it's great. I think it's fun. I'm hoping my theater will get it soon because I want to see it on the big screen. And yeah, the Wolverine and Deadpool marketing, it's just ramping up. It's going to be crazy. Cannot wait. Michael11591 says, "Hey Zach, how was your day? Always a joy when it's live show on Wednesdays." Well, Michael11591, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Thank you for saying those kind words, and I appreciate you being here. I'm so humbled and thankful to have you here, man. And my day's been going pretty well, so I appreciate that as well. Hope your day's going well as too. Did I say as well as too? Oh my goodness. Oh man. Jared Runner, thank you for joining. Jared says, "Hello there, Zach." Hello there, Jared. Thank you for being here, my friend. 80s Gift from the 90s. What's going on, dude? He says, "Hello there. I'm super excited about tonight. George Lucas spoke facts this past weekend. I wish he still owned Lucasfilm. What's up, everyone?" I mean, do I wish that George Lucas still owned Lucasfilm? I don't know if I necessarily, because the thing is, everyone thinks the grass is greener on the other side if we didn't have Kathleen Kennedy. But as much as I like Revenge of the Sith, and I'm a defender of Attack of the Clones, I don't know, man. Would it be as mixed as Disney Star Wars is? Would it be any better with George Lucas? I honestly don't know. I feel like that's kind of like a fan dream that we all kind of just like have because he was the creator of the original, really just the original movie, and then other directors took over after that. But until the prequels, of course. So I don't know I don't know if Star Wars would be better. I honestly don't know if Star Wars would be better if George Lucas still owned Lucasfilm. Because there has been some good stuff that's come out of Disney. But as far as his comments go, yeah, I mean, I thought they were pretty good. He was, as long as you're referring to what I'm thinking you're referring to, which is the Martin Scorsese, his take on is superhero movie cinema, and he said something along the lines of, as long as the image moves, it's cinema. So by that fact, what we're doing right now, welcome to cinema, everybody. This is cinema, according to George Lucas. So, and I don't disagree. Collector Movie Man, thank you for joining, my friend. Thank you for being here, beloved channel member. Saying, hey, Zach, it was nice to meet you on Saturday for Zach's live stream birthday. Yes, absolutely, dude. I feel the same way. It was a pleasure and an honor to meet you and to hang out with you guys for the amount of time that I was there. And yeah, happy birthday to Zach Attack. I'm not going to say his age because he's like super old, guys. But he'd be so embarrassed. But no, yeah, no, that young stallion, happy birthday, happy belated birthday to Zach Attack. The Laser, what's going on, Laser? Thanks for joining. Says, have you seen the new Moana 2 trailer? Yeah, so I watched the Moana 2 trailer this morning, and there was nothing in it that I didn't like. There was nothing in it that really got me that much more excited. I do have a little bit of hesitation with Moana 2, only because it comes from a Bob Chapek era where it was going to be a TV show, and now it kind of feels like last minute they're like, actually, we're going to turn it into a movie, and Dwayne Johnson is like still recording his lines right now, and we want to get it out in November, which I think is ambitious. I think getting it out in November, but like if the animation was already done for the TV show and you just edit it down, make it into a movie, I guess it's possible to get it into November without that much of an issue. As far as the teaser goes, though, gorgeous animation. It's interesting to see Moana herself has grown up a little bit. They've aged her up a bit, which I think is appropriate for how much time has passed from the first Moana. I'm curious. I'm curious about it. I really like the first Moana, so this one still looked like it had gorgeous animation, but I'm pretty sure Lin-Manuel Miranda is not returning to do the music, so I'm wondering how the music's going to be in this one, because I didn't really hear anything that indicated what the music was going to be like in this one. So we'll see. As far as the teaser goes, it was fine. Like, honestly, it was fine. It didn't blow me away. It didn't get me that much more excited. Daily Reacts Gaming, what's going on, dude? Thanks for joining. Says, hey, how are you doing today? So I'm going to start doing a TV reaction on my production channel on the 2003 TMNT show. Yes. Nice, dude. That is my favorite Ninja Turtle show. I mean, biased. I grew up with that one primarily. I grew up in the early 2000s. That was my turtle show. That and the 80s cartoon on reruns I would watch, but 2003's TMNT I think is still the best one. I love it, and it goes for a really long. Like, are you gonna do TMNT and then fast forward and then back to the sewer? Because there's spin-offs, but they all kind of are part of the same story. You go on to say, do you have any advice how to make the reaction entertaining? I mean, I think the biggest thing to make a reaction entertaining is, first of all, when you edit, make sure that you have the context of what you're reacting to, but also like have the commentary and the reaction to go along with it. For example, like my wife and I, when we do our movie commentaries, we are kind of like that in real life, like how you see us in the movie commentaries. We talk through movies all the time. We make stupid little jokes and remarks, but you do have to have kind of like that mentality that people are watching. So any little thought that you have in your head, verbalize it. Like any thought at all that comes into your mind. Like when you watch a movie and just think, oh, that's cool, you got to say that's cool or something, you know, try to bring your personality into it as well. People don't just want to watch someone stare blankly at the screen. You do have to have a presence along with it as well. So yeah, definitely I would say go in with the mentality of like you're watching something, but you're also entertaining, but you also want to be authentic and real with your thoughts and your jokes and what you're saying and all that kind of stuff. And also don't be afraid if it doesn't work out. If it doesn't work out, you're the only person that's making the video, that's seeing the video. No one else is expecting the video. No one else may ever see the video. If you don't like how it turns out, if you don't think it's good, don't be afraid to just not do it. Just scrap it, move it to the side. But yeah, absolutely, dude. I wish you the best of luck with it. I hope that you have a great time watching that show. It's a lot of work. I'll tell you that much. It's a lot of work. So go in knowing that it's going to be a lot of work and just have fun with it. I hope that you have fun with it. Nathan Dreaded Movie says, "Hi, Zach. Today was the last day of my freshman year in high school for me, and now I'm rewatching Wonder Woman while on the stream for the ranking of the 53 DC movies when Joker 2 releases." Nice. You just got to Wonder Woman, so you're burning through these pretty quickly then, man. And thank you so much for joining, Nathan. Thank you for being here, dude. And congratulations on getting through the freshman year of high school. That's huge, man. I hope you have a great summer ahead of you, and I hope you have a great year next year as well. The Laser says, "Are you shocked that it's almost June?" Am I shocked that it's almost June? Would I be saying, you know what? Not really. I think the year's been going, at least for me, it hasn't been going too fast, hasn't been going too slow. It's been going at a pretty steady pace. So, I'm not too shocked, but it is kind of like, oh, Deadpool and Wolverine is in like just over a month. Oh yes, did Barney just come out of my throat? Was that I that didn't sound right. Anyways, yeah, it's June. Crazy. The Laser says, "What June 2024 movie are you looking forward to?" Hitman, Bad Boys 4, Inside Out 2, Quiet Place, Ultraman Rising, Horizon, and Watchers. I think of those movies, the ones that stick out to me are Inside Out 2 and A Quiet Place Day 1. Now, I'm a little bit hesitant on A Quiet Place Day 1 because I love A Quiet Place Part 1 and Part 2 so much, and John Krasinski isn't directing this time. It's also not focusing on the family. It's the alien invasion. We're going back. We kind of did it at the beginning of Part 2, but now we're doing a full movie of it in a bigger city. I think it's going to be fun, but I don't know if it's going to have the emotion and the depth of A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2 that I like so much about those movies. But Inside Out 2, I think it's going to win June. Easily. I think Inside Out 2 will be the winner of June. I think Inside Out 2 is going to be the best movie of June. I've been delighted by the trailers. I love the first one. I think that families are really going to come out for Inside Out 2. I think it's going to do really well in the box office, better than some movies are right now, that's for sure. But yeah, of those movies, Inside Out 2 and A Quiet Place, those are the ones I'm most excited for. Not a big Bad Boys fan, to be honest. The Laser says, "I can't believe we're almost at 90. I remember joining your live streams over 6 months ago, back when you were at 65 or 67. Your channel is the best." Oh, dude, thank you so much for that. That is really kind of you to say. And yeah, we are approaching 90. This is 87, I believe is what I have written. Yeah, 87, episode 87. Yeah, in 3 weeks we'll be at 90, and then that's just 10 weeks to 100, which that 100th show, man, I'm getting excited for. I've got ideas for what I want to do for that 100th show, and I'm hoping I can pull them off, because if I can, I think it'll be a big celebration of this whole thing that we've done and that we've built. And you know, it's kind of funny because when I look back at the show, it just kind of like came out of such like happenstance. Like I just like even doing it on Wednesdays wasn't really ever like thought out or planned. It just kind of happened. It was just kind of like I did a live stream on Wednesday, and then I was like, if I'm gonna do it weekly, I'll just do it again next week. And I did it on Wednesday, so I guess Wednesday's the day. And then Wednesday ended up being the perfect day for my week schedule. So yeah, it's crazy. We're almost at 90, and these have been such a blast. I've loved doing this show. I've loved talking with you guys. All these, and some of you guys, I mean, credit where credit's due. Some of you guys have been here since like the start. I mean, Toxic Gamer 331 has been here for so long, which I appreciate so much, man. I think if I remember correctly, you're in like at least my first 10. Like somewhere in the first 10 is when you entered. I think you've been there since the start. I could be mistaken, but Yeah, it's been a crazy, fun, wild journey with this show, and I've met so many great people through it. I've had great conversations through it. It's grown the channel tremendously. Yeah, it's just amazing, and we're almost at 90. Crazy. Nathan Jenner Movie says, "What have you watched for the first time recently?" I got answers for you this time, man. I actually have answers. He says, "I saw Furiosa, New Life, The Last Stop in Yuma Country, You're a Lucky Dog, The Strangers 2, Big, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Challengers, West Side Story 2021, A History of Violence, and Napoleon Dynamite." Nice, dude. Yeah, I've seen Big, I've seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, I've seen West Side Story, I've seen Napoleon Dynamite. I don't think I've seen anything else on your list, though, so I got a lot to catch up on. But great list, man. Awesome list. What I've watched recently, I've actually watched a couple things recently. I watched Atlas on Netflix with Jennifer Lopez and 10 minutes of Simu Liu, roughly. So that wasn't great. It wasn't awful. Like, I didn't want to turn it off that often. But yeah, no, so I watched Atlas, not great. I watched The Book of Clarence, which I was actually really excited for, and I ended up being kind of disappointed with. I mean, I do come at it with a Christian perspective. I am a Christian, so watching that, there was a lot of inaccuracies. There was a lot of misrepresentations that I just couldn't really get on board with. And I couldn't really tell if the movie was trying to be a parody or taken seriously, because if it was trying to be taken seriously, I didn't think it was all that great. And if it was trying to be a parody, I didn't think it was funny enough to justify being a parody. Great performances. The production looked great. But overall, I was pretty disappointed with Book of Clarence. And then what else did I watch? I watched the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is pretty much what I wanted it to be. Guy Ritchie, fun action, fun dialogue. The group of guys led by Henry Cavill in that movie was so much fun. I loved how they killed Nazis in such a pleasant, gentlemanly manner. The stuff with the girl and the other guy, I can't remember what their names were. It was important to the story, but I felt like the movie kind of lulled whenever they were on screen. And then I feel like I watched one other thing, but I can't remember what it was. Yep, can't remember what it was, unfortunately. But yeah, I've watched a couple things. We got the Collective Movie Man saying, "Hey, Zach, I don't know if you saw, but just got announced on Amazon to pre-order the complete series of Friends on 4K. I've already got mine pre-ordered. It was $250. Nice, dude. I already have the whole show on Blu-ray. I don't think I need it on 4K. First of all, I don't even have a 4K. I don't have a 4K, so and I don't want to upgrade my TV and every single system I need to upgrade to get 4K. It's just not worth it to me. And Friends looks great on Blu-ray. In fact, sometimes Friends looks too good on Blu-ray. Sometimes you can really see the makeup and so I don't like it when it gets too crystal clear. It starts to take away the effect for me, because sometimes you can see they're clearly wearing makeup. Sometimes the sets look faker when you get it that high resolution. So Blu-ray is good for me. I don't really feel like I need to go to 4K, but if you're gonna pick that up, man, that's awesome, because Friends is my favorite show of all time. So that's really great. And we've got a new member joining us. We've got Screen Zen Reviews is now a Badger. Dude, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much for joining us there, dude. That is amazing, and I appreciate that so much, dude. And welcome to the show, man. And we also got the Ace Avenue, has been a member for 4 months. Dude, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of your support and all that you've done for our channel, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a member for that amount of time. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm just going to check and see if there was any fan funding because... Okay, perfect. Because sometimes I miss those, and I feel bad when I miss those. So going back up to where we left off. Wow, you guys are already killing this chat. That's awesome. This is where I lost all my sound, so that's good. We'll just move back. My wife's in here. I'm not home, or I would have gone in there. Yeah, honey, you needed to save me. I needed you home. You needed to save me. It looks like we got back online here. We got the laser saying, if Paramount and Peacock merged together, they would be called Mount Cock Plus. Oh my goodness. We're still mute. The volume worked for a bit, and then he died. That made me laugh so much. Where are we at? I must have gotten the sound back here. Zach Attack Reviews is here saying the #1 Zach on YouTube is live. How are you, bro? Dude, thank you so much for being here, Zach Attack. Always appreciate you being here, my friend. And the #1 Zach, come on, man. That goes to you. You know it. We all know it. I'll take number two. Number two is fine with me. But we got the Ace Avenue sending in a $5 super chat, dude. Thank you so much, so much for the support on that, man. He says, "Sup, Zach? What role do Giancarlo Esposito could play in the MCU? What role could he play? Yeah, because there's a story that's come out that says that I can never say his name right. Giancarlo Esposito has confirmed that he's gonna be in the MCU and he's gonna be introduced and then given a series, is what I read. So that's interesting that he would say that. I'm surprised he's allowed to say that without getting, Kevin Feige's sniper taking him out. But yeah, no. As far as who he could play, he's so typecasted as a villain, especially since Breaking Bad. He was even in he was in Abigail recently, and he was a villain in Abigail. So it's typecasting, but he could be Magneto. I could see him as Magneto. I think that he'd be a pretty good Magneto, if I'm being honest. I would love to see him as Magneto. Even maybe it's Doctor Doom. A little bit, I think he could pull off as well. That's the thing, is that he's so typecasted as a villain that all I can think of are villain roles. But I almost would like to see him become a hero, or take on a role that's so different from what he's done before in the MCU. But look, that is great talent. That is a great talent that you're getting brought into this universe. And anytime you can add good talent, it's a good news. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him. Zach Attack Reviews says, "I was muted on my stream yesterday. Twinsies." Yes, man. Yeah, no, I was surprised I was muted, because I was like I said, I was just on a stream and it was working just fine. The mic was hooked up and everything, and then I guess somewhere along the way I screwed something up and I was muted. So I'm glad I looked. But that's definitely a live streaming tip that I need to take for myself. Always double check that your mic is on. Always double check you have audio and video. That is very important for when you're going live. And the funny thing is that I can't even get rid of the beginning. That's just there now. When people click on this in the replay, I'm just not going to be talking for 15 minutes or however long it was, and then I'm going to fall off my chair, and hopefully people stick around to get to the audio. I love going live. Live is so much fun. 80s Gift from the 90s says, "Should Lucasfilm stop making Star Wars content and create something new?" Yes and no. They should not stop making Star Wars content. They should just put more effort and more thought into the story and characters of Star Wars moving forward, and still keep that a viable brand. But you got to make something new at the same time. I mean, what does Lucasfilm has? Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Is that it? I mean, roughly, right? The big franchises from Lucasfilm: Star Wars, Indiana Jones, from the 80s. I mean, Star Wars is the 70s, and I actually, now that I think about it, is Raiders 80s or 70s? I want to say 80s. I'm gonna say Star Wars is 70s, Raiders is 80s. They need a new franchise. And you know what? Kathleen Kennedy, for however long she's gonna be in the position for at Lucasfilm, and even to the extension, Bob Iger and the CEO of Disney, they need to put their new print on Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm hasn't really become their own, if you ask me. It's still very much tied to George Lucas. And you can argue it'll always be tied to George Lucas, but if you're taking over this company and you're trying to give it the longevity that it's had in the past, and you're trying to get new fans, and you want to get new people, to love your product, you also got to be creating something new and doing something new and fresh and unique and original to stay in the conversation, to stay creative, really. And I do think that there's something about Lucasfilm that, because they only have Star Wars, because they really only have Indiana Jones, they've just done the last one with Harrison Ford. So Indiana Jones, unless they're going to get a new young actor or reboot the thing or do something different with Indiana Jones, which I really don't know how much hunger there is for that right now, then that franchise is pretty much done at the moment. And then all they've got is Star Wars. So yeah, I do think, don't stop making Star Wars content, because Star Wars is still, even though it's diluted in my mind, especially with Disney Plus, it is still a high profile brand that you still need to be doing stuff with. But also at the same time, create your new path, create your own path, do something new, create some kind of new franchise. At least attempt to. That's the biggest thing, is at least attempt to. And I hope that Lucasfilm will do that one day, because they can't rely on just Star Wars and Indiana Jones forever. Dakota Man Movies says, I saw this question on Sean Chandler's stream. Should there be a PG-13 version of Deadpool and Wolverine like there was for Deadpool 2? I'm not opposed to it. I'm definitely not opposed to it. It just depends on how you do it, because Deadpool and Wolverine coming out as rated R. Are you going to have simultaneously an R-rated cut and a PG-13 version cut in the theaters at the same time? I don't think that that's necessarily a bad idea. I mean, I personally don't really see the harm in that. Like, you could argue it's the artistic integrity. You're taking away what Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and Sean Levy made, and you're ruining their product, and you're messing with it. And I mean, as long as the R-rated version is still accessible and is still in theaters, I don't really see a problem with having a PG-13 cut also for maybe the younger audience, and I'm sure it would help box office. Would they ever do it? I don't know if they would ever do it, but if you're going to do the route where, Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool, was kind of released after the fact, after Deadpool 2 was in theaters, it was released for charity, raised money. I think it was cancer that they raised money for. Then I don't see any problem with that either. For me, there's really no negative that I can find with doing a PG-13 version, because if you want to see the R-rated version, as long as it's still there, you can just go see the R-rated version. And then if a dad wants to take his 12-year-old, maybe not to the R-rated version, but hey, there's a PG-13 cut in theaters as well, I'll take little Tommy. Come on, Tommy, let's go watch Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's the version that Tommy will know until he grows up and finds the R-rated version on Disney Plus one day and is like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this was in the movie. So honestly, will they do it? I don't think so. But if they did it, would I be upset? Not at all. I don't see any negative, honestly, to it. Unless I'm missing something that maybe you guys can bring my attention to, but that's my thoughts on it. Daily Reacts Gaming says, P.S. It's my first time ever watching the 2003 TMNT show events. Well, that's good, because that means your reaction will be authentic and won't be false. Speaking of the man, Toxic Gamer 331, thank you for joining us, my friend. Saying Olo, Zach. I think this is at least the 80th Olo that you've given me. So thank you so much for being here for all this time, dude. Asking how's your day going? My day's been going pretty well. Busy day at work, kind of stressful. Learning new things and learning quick, having to learn quick. So little stressful, but it was still good. It was a good day. And then came home, went out for dinner with my wife, had a great dinner there, and now I'm here doing this. So good day overall. I would say it's been a good day. Nathan's Random Movie says, I have not seen any trailers for The Acolyte. Does it look exciting to you? No. No, it doesn't. Do I think it's going to be bad? I don't think it's going to be bad, but my expectation is that it's going to be underwhelming. And all this can do at this point is surprise me, because with the Disney Plus Star Wars shows, I mean, aside from Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 and Andor, they've all been kind of disappointing. Book of Boba Fett sucked. Obi-Wan was, I hate to say it, but it was bad. I just did a rewatch of it recently, and it fell down for me. It was worse than I remembered. So Obi-Wan broke my heart even more on a rewatch. It's bad. Ahsoka's fine. I had moments that gave me massive excitement that I would not take away. I would not ever want to take the show away for what the moments gave me, but as a whole overall package wasn't really my favorite thing. So far, the Disney Plus shows really have not impressed me with Star Wars. So if this ends up being great, it's just going to surprise me. I'm not going in expecting it to be good. I'm not going in expecting it to be great. Even the first reactions coming out for The Acolyte have been pretty astoundingly good. People are giving it a lot of praise, and I think the critics that released their first reactions saw the first 4 episodes, which, where have we seen that before? Only with every other Disney Plus show. Obi-Wan had great first reactions coming out of it. She-Hulk had great first reactions coming out of it. I think every Disney Plus show that's ever released that I ended up being disappointed by had great reactions coming out. I think even Book of Boba Fett had great reactions coming out of it. So I take those reactions with a huge grain of salt. So we'll see. We'll see. It will surprise me, but so far the trailers haven't really impressed me all that much, and I'm just hoping it to be good, man. I'm just hoping it to be good. Toxic331 says, have you watched the Crow reboot trailer with Bill Skarsgård? If so, what are your thoughts? I'm thinking it's getting way too much hate. I've never seen the original Crow. Just full disclosure, I've never seen the original Crow, but I have seen this Crow trailer. It's played in my theater a bunch of times since I've gone to the movies this year. That's kind of how I feel about it. It kind of looks like something that I would watch on streaming. Honestly, it's not something that when I see it in the movie theater, I'm like, I'm gonna have to come out day one to catch this opening weekend. I'm just kind of like, I feel like I'm on Netflix right now and I'm watching one of those previews play above the title. No disrespect to Netflix movies. It's just, it's not something that's getting me very intrigued. Let's put it that way. But maybe it'll be great. I gotta see the original one too before I to kind of see what to expect from it, I guess, because I really don't know much about The Crow at all. Like I've never seen anything from it. Dakota Man Movies says, anyone watching In a Violent Nature this weekend? I probably won't be, but I know a lot of people probably will be. And I don't even know if it's going to be coming here, to be honest. The Nathan's Random Movie says, how likely of a chance that Blade will get canceled? Yeah. Breaking news, Blade is going back in for more rewrites. Which, apparently, according to the report, Marvel has the story locked in. The story's locked down. They're just going back to revise the script, the dialogue, maybe change some scenes around or improve some scenes here and there. So that's fine. That's all fine and dandy. Do I think it's going to get canceled? Give it a 45% chance. I do think more likely it will come out. I give it a 45% chance that it actually gets canceled. I give it a 65% chance that Mahershala Ali gets recast. Because, the dude was announced as Blade 5 years ago. And I'm pretty sure he's now 50. Which isn't not ageism or anything. But when you get to be, if you're going to be Blade in the MCU and you're 50, you're probably expecting this thing to go into your 60s. Do you really want to be around for that long? Do you want to be contractually obligated to be around for that long and sacrifice other projects that you could be doing at this stage of your life? I think there's a chance that he walks away from this project. But the movie getting canceled, I do think it'll see the light of day. The Laser says, your anticipation for the upcoming Disney animated movies: Inside Out 2, Moana 2, Elio. Is that Alien one? Zootopia 2, Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, Frozen 4, and the rumored ones of Ducks. Incredibles 3 and Finding Nemo 3. Okay, well, I'll put Ducks at the bottom. Actually, you know what? I'll put Finding Nemo 3 at the bottom because I just think that's just not something you need to go back to. And I feel like that would just be the cash grab of it all. Because, who are you going to find next? Hank? The octopus guy? So I'll put Finding Nemo at my least anticipated. I'll follow that up with Ducks. I'm not quite sure what that would be. Elio looks okay so far, so I'll put that one next. I'm looking forward to Frozen 3 and 4. I guess I'll just lump them together. But I don't love the Frozen movies. I thought 2 was actually pretty decent. And the first one's all right. So I'll put those ones next. Then I'll probably go with Moana 2, followed by Toy Story 5, then an Incredibles 3. And then, Inside Out 2 just kind of has my attention at the moment because it's coming out so soon, and I'm really excited for it. 80s Gift from the 90s says, George's Clone Wars would have continued and been completely different than what we got from Dave. Also, his sequel trilogy plans sounded way better. Did they, though? Look, I'm not going to say that they wouldn't have been great. I'm not going to say that. I'm also not going to say that I'm not curious to see what George Lucas's idea was of telling the stories within the micronism world of the midichlorians. Because that's what he said his plans were. He said his plans for a 7, 8, and 9 would explore the realm of the midichlorians. The microorganisms that live on, what is it, in the blood? In the blood of the Jedi that give them their powers or whatever it is. Not going to say I'm not curious to see what George Lucas would have cocked up from his mind. Is that a word? Yeah, I think so. Would have brought to the screen with that idea. Also not going to say it would be better than Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. And I legitimately like The Force Awakens, so I'm not going to count that one in a bad category. And so, yeah, it would have been different, but would it have been better? We'll never know. But I find it hard to believe that it would be what Star Wars fans would have wanted, especially if they already hate the midichlorians. Then we're going to get a whole trilogy about them. Zach Attack says the best kind of cinema. Aw, dude. Thank you. Right back at you, man. Right back at you. And I appreciate you for being here and being a channel member, my friend. Marvin Wacho, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us, Marvin. Says, do you believe in the paranormal or ghost? Interesting question. Not in the way that they're depicted in like haunted horror movies, but like as a Christian, I believe in demons and like demonic figures and stuff like that. But yeah, the paranormal, I do think there is definitely paranormal. I think there is supernatural forces, but not in the not like they're depicted in like, say, Paranormal Activity or in what's another good one? What's I don't know, The Conjuring. Not like that. We got Toxic Gamer 331 saying, I watched Furiosa today, and it's my 4th movie of the year, right behind Fall Guy, Doom Part 2, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Awesome, dude. Hey, Furiosa's in my top 5 of the year, which just kind of like... Thank you, everybody who watched that review, by the way. That review is doing a lot better than I thought it was going to do. Better or worse, because there's some people that aren't quite understanding what the title on the thumbnail was alluding to. Some people are mad at me for suggesting that Furiosa should be on streaming, which that's not at all what I say in my review. If you watch the full review, I even say I recommend see this in theaters. I had mixed feelings about Furiosa, but I still liked it quite a bit. And I think if you watch my full review, you'll get the sense that I like the movie quite a bit. I just didn't love it, but I liked it quite a bit. But my question in the review was the way the movie was structured. Did they structure it this way? Was there some kind of idea that once this, because we know eventually this will be on HBO Max, do we want to structure this in a way where it kind of feels like you're binging episodes of a show? Like, do we want to make this movie feel bingeable for those who are going to end up watching it on streaming? That was my question in the review. And then on the thumbnail, kind of knowing what I was doing, kind of, not fully expecting what I was doing, I added the text made for streaming with a question mark, as in like, was this movie constructed that way? And some of the comments I've gotten are just like, you idiot, this shouldn't be on streaming, this is theatrical, like no effing way, this should be in theater. And I'm like, I know. I say that in my review. Go see it in theaters. I say it at the end when I give it a recommendation. Just funny. It's just funny. But yeah, no, Furiosa, I really enjoyed it. I wish that there was a couple elements I wish were better, but overall, really enjoyed it. I do think that it's probably in my top 5 because there's not a lot this year that I've like loved or really enjoyed all that much. So yeah, Furiosa. I'm looking forward to getting it on Blu-ray and watching it again. Nathan's Red Movie says, who is the best up-and-coming actor or actress to you? The best upcoming actor or actress to me? I mean, does Timothée Chalamet count? Because he really impressed me in Dune Part 2. So he's definitely an up-and-comer in acting that I think is really, really good. And as far as actress, I mean, I guess I just have to go back to like Jenna Ortega. I think is really good. And I think that she is going to be someone who is going to be someone you watch. You know who also really impressed me, and I'm going to hate myself because I forget her name. The girl in Abigail was amazing. The little vampire chick. What was her name? Now I gotta look this up because it's gonna drive me crazy. What did I do there? I need this. There we go. Abigail, actress. I can spell so well. I don't know who these people are. Oh, is this her? Alyssa, what's her name? That's not her. No, not Abigail. Like the Abigail movie. Come on, Google. Come on, Google, you idiot. What are you, stupid, Google? What are you, stupid? Abigail 2024, Catherine Newton. Alicia Weir. Alicia Weir? Alicia Weir. Whatever her name is. Alicia Weir. She blew me away with her acting skills in Abigail. She had so many layers and just so many performances upon performances in that movie that honestly, it was like after I watched her, I was like, you have me for the rest of your career, little child. Like I'm gonna watch you grow up into a phenomenal actress. Like I just know this girl's gonna have Oscars in the future because she was so good in Abigail, and I don't think that her performance actually got enough credit. I thought she was really phenomenal. So I think she's gonna be huge in the future. Zack Attack. Old, how could you? I pulled it back. You know, I messed with you a little bit, but then I gave you your props. Your young stallion. The laser says Dwayne Johnson's finished his voice recordings for Moana 2. Okay, he's finished his voice recordings. Okay. I must have gotten that mixed up then. Thank you for correcting me on that, man. Nathan John Movie says, how likely of a chance is it that Wicked crosses $1 billion? I find it quite likely. Ah, man. Does Wicked cross $1 billion? That's tricky because we haven't seen the movie. We don't know, obviously, we don't know if it's good or bad yet. It's based off of a very popular musical. So it does have that kind of going for it. It's got Ariana Grande. She's a big actress. But we've also seen, I mean, musical adaptations with big musicians don't necessarily equal big box office. I mean, look at Cats. Cats had the musical aspect, and it had Taylor Swift. And that didn't work out well for that movie. I think Wicked's going to be much better than Cats. Don't get me wrong. I think Wicked's going to be much better than Cats. $1 billion, though, if it's got the imagination, if it's got the audience wanting more of the world and the music and the performances, and it's got that repeat viewing, I think it's possible. I think Wicked probably does kind of like Wonka, probably 600, maybe 700 million. But if it came out and did $1 billion, I would be surprised. That would be this year's Barbie to me. If Wicked made $1 billion, that'd be this year's Barbie. But the more I think about it, there are legit arguments for it making $1 billion. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yep. Okay, just the Ace Avenue. Perfect. I want to make sure that if you send in a super chat, you get your question answered a little bit quicker than normal. Did I just lose the top? Where'd the rest of the stuff go? Oh, there we go. Okay. Hey, look at that. I learned how to find out how to get all the stuff I was missing again. That's good. Wait, what? There's a bunch of things missing here. Where'd all the... live. We're having such such fun tonight. Dang it. I lost like a majority of the questions. Where did they all go? That's not good. How am I going to fix that? That's terrible. That is terrible. Let's see, if I go to the live video, can I get back to where I was with the questions? I don't know why they all disappeared. Okay, here we go. Oh, great. I just can't bring them onto the screen anymore. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, guys. I can't bring these onto the screen, so we'll have to get caught up to the ranking. Okay, it's not actually that far, so I'm just gonna go through these questions using the browser here. Let's see here. We got 80s Kid from the 90s saying, "Hey Zach, I did a new community post today. I asked what's your favorite 90s song. My favorite 90s song, it's gotta be a boy band one for sure because I'm so into boy bands. Probably like NSYNC, Bye Bye Bye, something like that. I listen to that quite a bit. Listen to a lot of NSYNC. Carlos Gabriel, thank you so much for being here, Carlos. Thank you for joining. It says, Zach, I'm more excited about Wolves with Brad Pitt and George Clooney. I haven't seen the trailer yet, to be honest with you. I gotta watch that trailer still. I have not gotten around to seeing that one yet. I've heard good things about it though. People were going crazy on Twitter about it today. Carlos Gabriel says Moana 2 is meh. I mean, at the moment, it just looks kind of fine. I wouldn't go as far to say it's meh, but it looks okay. Nathan Jan Movie says, are you going to watch the Garfield movie? I don't think so. At this point, not in theaters. At this point, not in theaters. I'm probably going to catch it when it comes out on streaming. I'll probably watch it one night and just watch it for the sake of watching it, but I'm probably not going to go see it in theaters. I want to see If in theaters before I see Garfield. 80s Gift 90 says, Moana 2 is a pass for me. Oh, man. Fair enough. I'm not going to go as far to say that it's a pass for me, but I'm definitely I'll wait for the full trailer before I get really excited for it. Marvin Wanjo says, will you start reviewing anime shows and movies, both old and new releases? I've thought about not anime. Anime is very much a blind area of in my movie watching. I definitely got to watch more anime, but some of the anime that I've watched, I haven't really been that into, to be honest with you. So, anime is not really my forte, my thing. As far as reviewing older movies, I've done that in the past, and just the effort that it takes to do them, the viewership wasn't really worth it, so I stopped doing the old reviews, and I focused time on other things. But that was also, the channel was much smaller. It was a different time in my YouTube journey. So I have honestly thought about doing older movie reviews. I just need to find a way to work it into my already busy schedule without compromising the stuff I'm doing on YouTube right now. So maybe. I won't say never. There's definitely a chance that I will go back and review some older movies and get some retro reviews out at some point in my YouTube journey. Will it be this year? I wouldn't expect any older reviews this year, but next year, maybe. Carlos is saying, I'm seeing Garfield tomorrow, hopefully. Well, I hope you have a great time, man. I hope you really enjoy it. Okay, now we're caught up to where we were, and I will not be hitting that button anymore because I don't want to lose you guys' comments and questions anymore. Toxicgamer331 says, how would you rank all the Mad Max movies, Zach? Furiosa was my first Mad Max movie I've seen, and I thought it was great while still having some flaws. Full disclosure. And I think, did I mention this in my review? Oh, you know what? I might have cut it out of my review now that I'm thinking about it. I've only seen Fury Road and Furiosa. I actually haven't seen the original Mad Max. I've seen parts. I've seen parts of the original Mad Max movie. The first one, or Road Warrior, one of them. I've seen parts of it. I've never sat down and watched the full thing, though. So the only Mad Max movies I have fully watched are Fury Road and Furiosa. Just full disclaimer. So I can't rank them at the moment. Average Viewer Films, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Average Viewer Films says, did you hear about the Just Cause movie in the works? Cannot work. Cannot work. You don't think it's going to work? I did see that. I saw that earlier today, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure at some point on this show, someone has asked me, what's a video game that you'd like to see turned into a movie? And I said, I did not play much video games, but one that I played in the past that I liked a lot was Just Cause. Just Cause 2, to be exact. So I think I gave that answer at one point, and now here we are. We're getting a Just Cause movie, which, honestly, when I played Just Cause, I was just jumping off of high places with my grappling hook and hooking on the cars and pushing people out and driving the streets. Like, I never played the story. I never played the campaigns. I literally just roamed. I just free roamed and stole cars and shot people, and, you know, on the video game. I unalived NPCs. Whatever you're supposed to say. Algorithm, don't demonetize me for saying that. But yeah, no, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what it's gonna be. It's gonna be really interesting to see how they take that world and adapt it into a movie. But cannot work. I don't know if I'd say cannot work, but they're probably gonna take some liberties with it for sure. 80s Gift for the 90s says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles counting on 1, 2. Oh yeah, this is the Turtles Mutant Chain Reaction. Yeah, living underground. I'm not gonna sing because I don't want to torture you guys. But yeah, the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles intro rivals even the classic 80s intro. Honestly, to me, it's so good. It's kind of like the Spectacular Spider-Man theme song, where it's like, you know, you had like the Spider-Man does whatever like that one's so classic and so, but like living on the edge, spectacular like that theme song is pretty sweet. And I feel the same way about 2003 Turtles. That theme song is awesome. Dakota Man Movie says, hot take alert, Fury Road is not a great movie. It's just about characters driving to one point then driving back. Nothing really happens. That's fair. But I disagree. I think that Fury Road is, I mean, it's one of the best action achievements in cinema in at least the last decade. Because it's 9 years old now. Yeah, in at least the last decade. I still have yet to find I mean, like Top Gun Maverick, absolutely. Mission Impossible, any of them, any of them. The last one in particular. Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout, absolutely. But I have yet still to find an action movie that had me on the edge of my seat and as riveted as the action in Mad Max Fury Road. And I think that your points are valid. I mean, it is just one big car chase, but to me, that's all it needed to be. And I was riveted from beginning to end. I really love Fury Road. So I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it as much, man. But you know what? That's film. It's all subjective, and no opinion is less valid than the last. 80s Gift from the 90s says, did you know that Cad Bane and Ahsoka were supposed to die during the Clone Wars? I did not know that. And Cad Bane, you just brought this back into my memory, was the worst introduction to a Star Wars character I've ever seen in Book of Boba Fett. Because who the heck was he? As someone who didn't watch the Clone Wars cartoon, that show did nothing to introduce that character to me. He just popped up, and I was supposed to be like, oh, like, I was like, who the heck is this guy? What's he doing here now? Silly. 80s Given 90 says, I used to love watching Barney as well as Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas the Tank Engine freaked me out. That big face on the train was just like, no, absolutely not. Ugh, terrible. But Barney, watched Barney all the time. I'm not even ashamed to admit that. Well, I mean, I was 3. Give me a break. I was 3 when did I stop watching Barney? Don't go down that rabbit hole. No, I loved Barney. Barney's Great Adventure, the movie. I think I saw that in theaters, maybe. My mom might have told me that, but I watched it on VHS endlessly. Why don't we talk about Barney? You know what? Because George Lucas said that if an image moves, it's cinema, and Barney was cinema. I had such a good time with Barney in my youth. Collector Movie Man. I saw Barney live, by the way. I have no memory of it, but I've seen pictures. I was there. Collector Movie Man says, are you going to have a guest host for your 100th episode? I would definitely be interested in joining if you want to have me as a guest. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being interested in jumping on. And I'm always so humbled and taken aback when people want to come on. For the 100th episode, I'm still debating it. This is no confirmation, and this is not an announcement. Maybe I shouldn't even say. You know what? This is an idea that I'm thinking about, but I'm still thinking about the kinks of it all. But I was thinking of having an open link to jump on to the stream. But I'm not saying that's what I'm doing, because that's also risky. I think a lot of you guys, majority of you guys are very respectful and would be awesome to have on and talk to live and have on camera for sure. But it's also, you just get one person in there that wants to make a big joke of it all, or is just being a jerk, and the whole thing crumbles. And that's the biggest thing, is the whole thing would just crumble. So I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do. That's one of the ideas that's floating around in my head, but it's unlikely if I can't get over that hurdle. But yeah, no, I've got ideas of people to bring on. I've got ideas of what the show is going to look like and the structure of it all. When we get there, which we're still like we're talking, if I consistently do weeks, which, you know, sometimes there's long weekends, I'll be out of town. There's times where I'll miss weeks. We're talking like late September, maybe even into October is when our 100th episode is going to be. So I've still got time to work it out and figure it out and structure it in my mind and how it's gonna go. But I'm really excited for it. I mean, hitting 100 episodes is gonna be quite the achievement for us. I'm very excited for that day. Trev's Movies, what's going on, Trev? Thanks for joining, my friend. Says, Zach, last week we started talking about VHSs. Today I found an old tape with some old cartoon recordings. I'm so glad I found it, especially for the nostalgic commercials. Dude, I'm right there with you. I have because I'm assuming you had your VCR hooked up to your cable box and you would record off of the TV. And I did that all the time, and I still have tapes. I still have tapes from like 2010 or 2009 of like, they're titled like the best Drake and Josh episodes, or everything I was watching on Family Channel, because we didn't have Disney Channel in Canada at the time. We had what was called Family Channel, and then the Disney Channel shows and some of the Nickelodeon shows got distributed onto that channel. So for me, it was Family Channel. I have like the awesome episodes of Wizard of Waverly Place VHS with stuff down. And it's really fun to go back and pop those in and just kind of it's the closest thing I have to time traveling back to my youth, because I got all the old commercials on there. I have the old TV promos of shows that I would watch, like catch a new episode of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. It's like I remember when that was airing, when I watched that for the first time. And yeah, it's a nostalgic trip that I like going back to every now and again looking at, and it's a very special thing. And then sometimes when I was a kid, I would stop the recording when the commercials were happening and then hit record again when the show came back on to try and skip the commercials. Before we had streaming, that's what you had to do to skip commercials. And I kind of regret that a little bit now, because there's a bunch of commercials and promos that I now don't have. But yeah, no, I have at least 5 tapes, I think, in there of shows. Marvin Wanjo says, do you think Marvel should scale down on Disney Plus shows content? Absolutely I do, and that is what they say they are doing. They say that is what they're going to be doing, so I think that's the right move. I think that's the smart move. And another thing they say that they're doing is they're going to limit the connectivity between shows and movies, which I also think is a good thing to do, because it's just too much. It's too much for people to have to stay caught up on. Trev's Movie says there's also a recording of ABC's One Saturday Morning on the tape. Oh, that's awesome, man. A little bit of history. 80s Gift from 90 says, last week I found Toy Story on VHS. Cool Batman VHS. Oh, yeah, Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah, I found that at a pawn shop. I wish that it was my original. I wish it was the one I had when I was a kid, but unfortunately that one got lost a long time ago. But that is exactly the clamshell case that I had, and it just, yeah, it's very nostalgic. The Laser says, I hit 1820 subscribers and over 700,000 total views on my channel. What a journey it's been. This year has been the most year where I have went through change. Well, dude, congratulations. 1820, 700,000 views. That's nothing to scoff at, man. You are killing it. Congratulations, man. Give yourself a pat on the back. You deserve it. You're killing it, man. 80s Given 90 says, I rewatched Excellent Adventure to prepare for my new Bill and Ted movie review. Excellent, man. I love Bill and Ted, so I'll definitely be checking out that review, man. I love those movies. Trev's Movie says, I watched Gran Torino for the first time recently. A Man Called Otto is basically a good ripoff of it, except Otto wasn't racist. For some reason, I thought I read Gran Turismo, the racing movie with David Harbour. And I was very confused when we got to not being racist. But yes, I see what you mean. You're talking about the Clint Eastwood Gran Torino movie. And you know what? That is not actually that far off. I do see where you're coming from with that. Travis Movie says, Ungently Warfare was for me just so fair enough, man. I enjoyed the espionage. I liked the banter. I liked the dialogue. They were killing Nazis. It was great. It was great. Once again, Screen Zen Reviews, thank you so much for coming onto members. Let's see, we got The View with Drew. What's going on, Drew? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Says, hey, everyone, what's up? What's going on, Drew? We are having a chaotic show. We're having a lot of issues, a lot of flaws going on, but we're here and we're having a great time and we're powering through it. So I appreciate all you guys for being here. And, yeah, just sticking with me with all the technical babble, jumble stuff that's going on tonight. I'm having a blast. Travis Movie says, I'm excited for South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Team America, World Police, and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie to drop on 4K. Yeah, all that's coming on 4K. That's crazy. I got the SpongeBob movie on Blu-ray. I think that's all I'm going to stick with, honestly. But that's pretty awesome that it's coming on 4K. Let's see. We got the Laser saying Zach attacked the horniest person on you. Okay. Woo! We're moving on from that. Sully Streams. What's going on, Sully? Thank you for joining us, my friend. How are you doing, everybody? Doing pretty well, Sully. Doing pretty well. How are you doing, man? Freaking Laser, man. Nathan's Random Movies says, favorite Pixar film. Mine is Up. Oh, man. Pixar is such a hard one to come up with a favorite movie. Honestly, there's so many good ones. I do like The Incredibles quite a bit. I love Coco. I adore Coco. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite because I also love Finding Nemo. I don't know, man. I'd have to really sit with that because, first of all, it's been a little bit since I've gone and watched back some of the Pixar films. I also haven't seen every Pixar film, especially some of the newer ones I've missed out on. So I got to go back and watch some Pixar and really define my thoughts. But the ones that come to mind when you say that are Finding Nemo, Coco, and whatever the heck the other one was I said. The Incredibles. The Incredibles. Those are ones that come to mind. Solely Stream says, what's a movie you loved as a kid that you don't want to rewatch because you don't think it'll hold up anymore? Uh, that's tricky because a lot of movies that I liked as a kid, I did go back to rewatch, and some of them held up and some of them did not. And I can't really think of a movie that I loved as a kid that is like so like if I go back to this, I'm worried about tarnishing it because I feel like everything I watched I've gone back to. There was a movie called what was it called? Slappy and Stinky? What was it called? Slappy and the Stinkers? What was that movie called? I sound like I'm making stuff up, but I swear I'm not. Let's see if I can find it. See if I can find my mouse first. Where's my mouse? What the man, what is going on tonight? So much technical stuff. Okay. How do I get off this now? Oh, okay. There's my mouse is somewhat visible. Okay, here we go. I think it was called, what was it called? Slappy and this is probably a waste of time, but there it is. Slappy and the Stinkers. That's it. Yeah, this movie. I used to love this movie. I haven't seen it since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I just know it's gonna suck. I just know this movie's gonna suck if I go back to watch it, because basically, from my memory of it, it's these kids that kidnap or find this walrus, and the principal tries to catch them or something. It was kind of like Ferris Bueller mixed with the Little Rascals, and I'm pretty sure that if I ever went back to watch this movie, it would suck. I mean, there's really little doubt in my mind about that. So for that reason, I'm going to go with that movie because that's one of the only ones that I can really think of where I haven't gone back to rewatch it. I have no idea where my mouse went. This is so weird. Let's see here. We got the laser. Trev movie saying he said I said Abigail again? Did I really? Why can't I say Abigail? Did I really say Abigail again? That is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what it is with that title, with that name. But I good thing I didn't marry an Abigail. An Abigail. My damn it. Okay. I caught that one. Collective Movie Man saying, I'm really looking forward to June because my #1 show is coming back, House of the Dragons, and I've been thinking of doing a live stream after each episode and talking about my thoughts. Do it, man. Sounds like a blast. Yeah, no, for me, June is all about The Bear Season 3. June is all about The Bear Season 3, baby. I'm so excited for The Bear Season 3. It's going to be so good. That show's incredible. If you're not watching The Bear, definitely watch The Bear. Where did my mouse go? I'm getting kind of frustrated that I can't find it now. It's making this very difficult. There we go. Zack Attack Reviews says Gian as Mr. Sinister or Norman Osborn. Mr. Sinister's pretty good. Norman Osborn, the only reason why I wouldn't say Norman Osborn is because, honestly, I don't want them to do a Norman Osborn. I understand the appeal because we had Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn in No Way Home, so now Peter gets to meet his version of Norman Osborn. But I kind of just feel like because we've already done Dafoe as Norman Osborn, I want them to do something different for Peter's or for Tom Holland's Peter Parker moving forward in Spider-Man 4 or 5, and I'm sure we'll get another trilogy out of this guy. So I do want to see more variety of Spider-Man villains, and not because we've done quite a few of them. Like we've already done the Lizard, we did Sandman, we've done we could do Venom again. But we've done Venom, we've done Doc Ock, we've done Green Goblin, and then we brought him back again in No Way Home. Do something different. Bring in Scorpion. Bring in the Vermin. I mean that would be that might be a little bit dark for the MCU, but that'd be pretty good. Age of 90 says we're doing good, man. Awesome, glad to hear it. Let's see here. We got Collective Movie Man saying, Zach, I wanted to ask, have you ever seen Breaking Bad? That TV show is my #2 favorite TV show. I love Breaking Bad. I actually did. I watched Breaking Bad for the very first time. I'm trying to remember now if it was this year. No, it had to have been last year. Yeah, it was last year. I watched Breaking Bad for the first time last year. Binged it. Loved it. So good. So freaking good. And there was a lot of people telling me I should watch it. Luke Ponto told me I should watch it. Zach Guller told me I should watch it. My brother for the longest time said I should watch it, and I finally watched it, and it was phenomenal. Definitely one of my favorite shows of all time. Actually, I was just talking to my wife the other day. I was thinking I need to go back and watch Breaking Bad again. Like, it would take time out of watching newer things like I want to do, but man, Breaking Bad's so good. So yeah, definitely seen it. The View with Drew says, I have excellent news to share. I just finished making a Lego Marvel mini movie that will premiere live on my channel Friday night. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. And I'm looking forward to checking that out. Let's see here. Dakota Man Movies says, what do you use to edit your videos and make your thumbnails? I'm trying to see which one works best for me. Yeah, so for my thumbnails, I'm going to give my wife a shout out here because she called me out on it when we did our Members Talk Live episode talking about YouTube. My wife, Cassidy Milne, my lovely wife, my beautiful wife, my rock, my solid rock in marriage. She, the wonderful Cassidy Milne, she showed me Canva. I did not know about Canva until Cassidy Milne showed me Canva. There you go, honey. You got your praise. Yes, no, Canva. I use Canva. I started using Canva 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. There is a free version. I recommend you just, if you can, get the payable version. You get so much features that are like the background remover, borders, effects. Like, it's so worth it, and it changed the thumbnail game for me. So Canva, it's an app. It's also on a browser, so you can find it there. And as far as editing my videos, I honestly have and still only use iMovie, because I've worked so hard at learning it that I'm just kind of like fickle and don't want to learn something new. And it's still working for me. Once it stops working for me, I'll probably ditch it. I'll probably try something different. But, you know, it's free. My movie reviews have never cost anything except for now Canva. I pay for Canva. But, yeah, iMovie works just fine for me. It's on my phone. I can access it at any time. If I'm, you know, riding the bus and I have a video on my phone in iMovie, and just edit the movie a little bit while I'm on the bus. It works out well. Where are we at? We're at, here we go. Trev's Movie saying, Zach, I commented on one of your shorts saying that Garfield was awful. I take it back because I saw it again, and I gotta say, it's even worse the second time. Also, it's so bad I reviewed it twice. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I did see that comment. It made me laugh. I think that was on my Furiosa First Thoughts short that I did out of the theater. I think is where I saw that. It was very funny. Look, here's the thing about Garfield. People say, or people take it when I'm like, I don't want to see that. Not interested. Not gonna go see that. As in, like, trashing on the movie, which, you know, maybe in some sense I am, but at the same time, for me, it's a kids movie. It's marketed as a kids movie. From what I hear, it plays out as a kids movie. And, you know, as a 25-year-old man, as grown-ups, sometimes we use it's a kids movie as a negative, as a way to put a movie down. But kids need movies too. And just because it's a kids movie and it's not made for me doesn't necessarily make that a bad thing. If kids are going to see Garfield, which the box office suggests not many are, but if kids are going to see Garfield and having a great time and they're growing up, dude, I grew up with the Bill Murray Garfield movies. You think those are great? They're not good. I loved them as a kid. And they were kids movies. Worked well for me. Loved them. Went back and watched them in my teens. Did not work for me. Thought they were garbage. And I think they're still bad today. So, yeah, Garfield, look, if kids are loving it, if kids are growing up with it now, and that's going to be their Garfield movie, that when they're 15 years old, man, I loved Garfield when I was a kid. Let's watch it again. And then they face the disappointment of finding out the movie sucks. That's just the natural course of life. So, yeah, just because Garfield is not made for me, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a knock on the movie. But it's a kids movie, and I know it's a kids movie. I know it's probably not made for me, so I'm not interested in seeing it, and I think that's okay. But it's really funny. That's really funny. It's worth the second time. Zack Attack Review says Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Willow. That's all Lucasfilm has. Oh yeah, Willow. I forgot about Willow. You know, but like Willow, they don't even really believe in Willow because they put the Willow season 1 show out, and then no one watched it. They were like, crap. I guess we'll just get rid of it. No long. This doesn't exist anymore. This is going the way of the Star Wars Holiday Special. If you want to watch Willow, pirate it. We don't care. So yeah. But even like Willow's not that popular of a movie franchise or a character. So yeah, you're right. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Willow. That's all Lucasfilm has. They got to think of something else. They got to do something new. Michael Entity says, by the way, thank you, Michael Entity, for being here, beloved channel member and friend. Thank you for joining us, dude. Says, Zach, what is your favorite cheesy sports film? Mine is Never Back Down. It's basically a modernized version of The Karate Kid with UFC. It's very melodramatic and over the top, but I love it. Ooh, man, that's a tough one. A cheesy sports film. Why is Kicking and Screaming coming to mind? The Will Ferrell movie, Kicking and Screaming. That's the only thing that's coming to my mind now, because that's all it wants to play. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I can't. It's just Kicking and Screaming in here playing now. It's that's all I got in my head right now. But thank you so much for sending that in, Michael. Thanks for being here, dude. Says Trev's Movie says Lucasfilm also did the movie Strange Magic. Didn't see it. Collected Movie Man says, I'd rather have George Lucas be in charge of Star Wars. I'm sorry, but I don't like having Disney being in charge of it. They've only made 3 good shows, Andor and Mandalorian season 1 and 2. I mean, 3 good shows, Andor and Mandalorian. Oh, you're counting season 1 and season 2 as the third show. Okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I have the same gripes. But at the same time, like I like Force Awakens. I do. I think it's a good movie. Everything that comes after it is iffy. Rogue One, I think is good. I enjoyed Rogue One. I like you said, Mandalorian, Andor. They've done some really good things, and I just think there's like this fantasization of like, well, if George Lucas was still in charge, the stuff would be better, and I'm just not so sure that would be the case. I think maybe if George Lucas had more collaborative efforts with him and not just going solo, maybe it could have been better, but we'll never know. We'll never know for sure. Collective Movie Man says, did you hear that the Acolyte show is getting really good responses from critics? I did, but as mentioned before, so did Obi-Wan. So did Book of Boba Fett. So did Ahsoka. Andor as well, but Andor ended up being true. So I take it with a grain of salt. Because these critics, Disney is really smart. Disney is really smart with how they do this, because they give the critics like the first couple of episodes, usually before the show goes off the rails or before the show underwhelms. And then the critics watch it expecting that after what they just watched will be just as good or even better. And then they put their reviews out there. And it's like they're reviewing it based on the first couple. You know, She-Hulk. Actually, I'm not going to go to the browser because this mouse is being stupid. But She-Hulk has I think it's in the 80s. I think She-Hulk has like an 80s. I think it's in the 80s, maybe the mid 70s. Of a Rotten Tomatoes score, because critics got the first 2 or 3 episodes, which myself, I really did like the first 3 episodes. The first 3 episodes of She-Hulk, I actually quite enjoyed. So did those critics, and that's all they had to review it off of. So now the Rotten Tomatoes score is like in the 80s or mid 70s because they reviewed it off of 3 episodes that were good. And then the rest of the show, at least in my opinion, went off the edge. But the reviews are already in. So the same thing happens with the Star Wars shows, and it's very smart. It's very smart because Obi-Wan's first episode was great. Like, honestly, I really like the first episode of Obi-Wan. It sets him up very well. It brings us into his phase of life very well. The rest of the show just kind of sucks. But if I was reviewing Obi-Wan just off that first episode, I would have given it a very positive review. So I take it with a grain of salt. We'll see how it actually turns out once the full thing is viewable. But I'm rooting for it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm rooting for the Acolyte. I'm just saying at this point it's going to be surprising if it's great. Nathan John Ruby says, I suggest watching Challengers. I loved it for its style and compelling characters. Don't worry, it does not get too sexual, actually. Yeah, my brother actually told me about that. I'm going to watch Challengers. I think, is that already on VOD? Because maybe I'll rent that this weekend. Maybe I'll watch Challengers this weekend. Because, yeah, I was curious to watch Challengers. It wasn't even so much that I don't even remember looking up the sexual content. I think I was out of town. I think I just missed it. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Chuco's Powerhouse Cinema, thank you so much for joining, my friend. Thanks for being here. He says, hey, Zach, hope all is going well. Hey, Zach, hope all is going well. Awesome content, as always. Well, thank you so much, man. Sorry I butchered that. Very kind words. I really do appreciate that. And, yeah, thank you so much for just sending that in, man. And I hope you're doing well. How's your evening going? Or afternoon, or morning. I don't know where you guys live. Kenny Sparks, beloved channel member and friend. What's going on, Ken? Thanks for joining, dude. It says, hey, family. We got the laser saying, Kenny. Kenny Sparks saying, I like the new member badges. Thank you, man. Yeah, it was a long time coming. Members are having channel members. It's hard to balance that that output. Honestly, and which I feel bad because we do members talk live and we do that consistently. We have a blast, but man, I really am trying to think of exclusive content for you guys and trying to get exclusive content out for you guys. But it's just like the time and energy, like, you know, like putting it into there is taken away from the main channel and the rest of things in life. It's challenging sometimes, but this was a long time coming. I've wanted to change up the member badges for a while. I wanted to give you guys new emojis for a while, and I finally got around to it a couple days ago. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the kind words and for the great feedback on them. I like them too. I thought they turned out really well. So yeah, I'm hoping to get you guys even more stuff in the near future. I really am. And I appreciate everyone who's a member, by the way. All the members, you guys are really making this channel thrive. You guys are the main reason why I'm able to do this weekly, and like the success that I have on YouTube comes from you guys. So thank you to every single person that is, was, or is going to be a channel member. You guys make all the difference, and I really, really appreciate you. Zach Attack Reviews saying, have you seen the trailer for Wolf, the new Brad Pitt, George Clooney movie? I have not yet, but I do plan on seeing it because I heard the trailer was good and people on Twitter were raving about it. We got Trev's Movie saying, I have to see Haikyuu, the dumpster battle tomorrow. It's an anime movie based off a series I've never seen, but it's about male volleyball, and I've seen some crazy posters of the leads. All right, I've never heard of it. I've never heard of that. I mean, I don't really follow the anime scene, so I guess that explains why I haven't heard of that. But hope you have a great time, dude. I hope it's a great movie. Laser says Ducks is rumored to be Pixar's first musical. Oh, yeah, I guess Pixar hasn't done a musical. That's so weird. Yeah, because Frozen is not... yeah, that's Disney. Okay, the Disney animation does music, but I guess Pixar doesn't do music. That is kind of weird, yeah. Okay. For some reason... Am I wrong, guys? Is there a musical? Is there music in Pixar movie somewhere? I mean, we had Jesse's song in Toy Story 2, but that doesn't really make the movie a musical. Interesting. That'd be interesting. I mean, look, I think the reason... Like, I hear Ducks and I think of Migration. You know that movie from... was it last year? Migration? I didn't really like Migration. And that was Illumination, so it's not fair to because it was a duck story done by Illumination. It's not fair to say that Pixar's duck story would be just as good or just as bad as Migration. But that's what pops into my head. That's what pops into my head when I hear that Pixar's doing ducks, is I think of a Migration type movie, and I just wasn't into Migration. Collective Movie Man saying, Zack Attack, I've seen the trailer for the new George Clooney and Brad Pitt. I actually think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I've been hearing that quite a bit. Everyone's saying it looks pretty good, so I'm looking forward to checking out the trailer myself. Trev's Movie says, holding knives at each other. Did I miss something? Oh, the posters of the leads holding knives at each other. Oh, okay, interesting. Now you have me even more intrigued for that movie. Kenny Sparks says, do you have a letterbox list for your 2024 movies? If so, what's your number 16 movie? Well, if you're asking about ranking, then I don't rank the movies on Letterboxd. I do have a 24 list of just like movies that I've watched in the order that I've seen them. So I have that, but I don't have them ranked from like my least favorite to my most favorite. I'm gonna do that at the end of the year for sure. But at the moment, if you want to know the 16th movie that I saw. It was Monkey Man. Monkey Man was my 16th movie that I saw, and so far I've seen 25 new films this year. But yeah, I haven't ranked them yet. Kenny Sparks says the last thing we need is a midichlorian exploration. Yeah, I mean, you go back and listen to what George Lucas's plans were. That was his plans, exploring the midichlorian world. So I don't know if that would have been better. I'm just being honest. Have you seen that with T, beloved channel member and friend? What's going on, T? How you doing, dude? By the way, Ken, the Ace Avenue, and have you seen that with T? Fantastic stream on Saturday, going over the summer release schedule. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed being in the chat. Loved hearing you guys' opinions and thoughts and banters. And yeah, guys, if you haven't checked that out yet, go to Have You Seen That with T's channel. It should be the last live stream I think that he did. It was on Saturday. They covered all of the movies coming out in the summer. If you guys are looking for your summer movie slate breakdown, that is the place to go. They did a phenomenal job. So thank you for being here, T. Trev's Movies says, I liked Furiosa, but compared to Fury Road, a little bit of a disappointment to me. Really good movie, not one of my favorites, though. Has my new favorite Chris Hemsworth performance, though. I think I completely agree with that. I thought it was a little bit disappointing compared to Fury Road. I did think it was really good, but it's not like, well, I mean, at the moment, it's in my top 5 of the year because this year has just kind of been so underwhelming and disappointing to me. That's not a knock against the movie. I still really liked the movie. And yes, Chris Hemsworth's performance in it was awesome. If Ryan Gosling can get nominated for Barbie, Chris Hemsworth can get nominated for an Oscar for this movie. I thought he was fantastic. Toxic Gamer 331 says, P.S. I might be popping in a stream in and out because I'm filming a WWE 2024 Universe video. Hey, man, I just appreciate you being here for any amount of time that you are willing to give. It's always an honor and always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. We got Trez Movies saying, people have way too short of attention span, so that's probably why you got those comments on your Furiosa video. I blame TikTok. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't care about it, honestly. I laugh at it. It's also funny because we did the Members Talk Live show on Saturday. We talked about YouTube, and I talked about how, I don't know if I've just been blessed or lucky, but you know what? My comment sections are always very positive and no one's really mean to me in my comments. And then lo and behold, the next movie review I do has some people screaming at me, but you know what? It's all good. Maybe they just type in caps for everything. Maybe caps is just how they speak on Twitter and everything. So yeah, it wasn't anything too harsh, so it was totally cool. But I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, you guys missed the whole point of what that question really meant. But it did well. It's doing well. So thank you everybody who's clicked on that review. I really appreciate it. If only Warner Brothers didn't demonetize it, copyright it. That's the word I'm looking for. If only Warner Brothers didn't copyright it, it'd probably be at 20 cents by now. Darn. Have you seen that? What T says, the girl from Abigail is in a good movie called Wicked Little Letters. I saw the poster for that the other day. I don't know what it is, but I'll have to check it out. Oh wait, Wicked Little Letters. It's like a mystery movie where a girl gets framed or something. I saw the trailer for that, not the poster. I saw the trailer for that. Daily Reacts Gaming says, I just made a video announcing it, and I add your clip if you want to check it out. If you want to when you get a chance. Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I will definitely check that out. Once the stream is over and once we're done with the show, I'll definitely go over and check that out. Thank you for including me. That's really nice of you. Toxic Gamer 331 says, what are your top 5 favorite movies of the year so far? Mine are Civil War, Furiosa, Fall Guy, Doom Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Well, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is definitely up there. And then we got Doom Part 2 is there. Abigail. I loved Abigail, so I'm going with Abigail there. And then I think I would go with Furiosa. And then, man, dude, it's been such a lackluster year. I can't even think of like, what did I really enjoy? What would be number 5? For now, you know what? For number 5, honestly, I'm gonna put Fall Guy. Yeah, I'll put Fall Guy at number 5 for now. Oh man, I hope this year picks up. I really do. Yeah, that's what I'll put for now. Trevor's Movie says, you Swifties showed up for the Eras Tour movie. Where the F were you for Cats? Yeah, no, that's I mean, I think Cats also technically was before this big Taylor Swift boom that happened over the past year. But yeah, no, they didn't show up for Cats. They did not show up for Cats. If Cats came out today, it would have been $1 billion film. 3D movie cinema. What's going on, Jake? Thanks for joining, my friend. Thanks for being here. Says, hey Zach, how you doing, man? 3D Jake is in the house. You excited for Lanterns? Personally, I'm hoping it's better than the 2011 movie, but I'm just ready for some Green Lantern. Been 13 years, man. Take care, man. Well, thank you so much for sending in the question, man. Sending in the support and just stopping by for a minute. Always an honor to have you here. Am I excited? Yes, I am. Do I have really any reason to give you why? I'm not really versed in Green Lantern lore. I don't really know the characters all that well, to be honest with you. So I don't really have anything to add to that. But just the fact that it's supposed to be like a detective type show, I think is really interesting. The 2011 Ryan Reynolds movie has a lot of flaws, but I remember liking that when I first saw it in theaters. I haven't gone back to watch it, I think, since I saw it in theaters, so I have no idea what I think about it now. But as a little kid, as a 12, 13-year-old kid, I enjoyed it. But yeah, 13 years since we had some Green Lantern content. That's crazy. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all, like, the whole James Gunn universe, what he's doing. I can't wait to see anything from it. Talk to Gamer 331 says, what do you think are some overrated Pixar movies and underrated Pixar movies? I think Up is overrated. I know. I think Up is a little overrated. I think the first 10 minutes are just as good as everyone says and just as good as everyone remembers. Once we get into the jungle and there's like the dogs and all that stuff, I honestly I don't know. It's not a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad movie, but I'm always a little bit more disinterested in the movie when we get to that point. I love the beginning. I love the introduction of Russell. I love when they land base and meet Doug and meet Kevin. But then as it progresses, it starts to lose me just a little bit in interest. But everyone remembers those first 10 minutes. So Up is like the best thing Pixar's ever done because everyone is so fond of those first 10 minutes, and rightfully so. They're amazing. But I do think it's a little bit overrated. But I still really like it. Don't get me wrong. I still really like it. As far as an underrated Pixar movie goes, I do think Coco's a little underrated. I don't feel like many people bring up Coco. I mean, as much as like, Wall-E and Ratatouille are beloved and they get brought up a lot, no one really brings up like Coco. And I think Coco is like really good. Like I love Coco. So yeah, those are two that comes to mind. Toxic Gamer 331 says it's sad Furiosa bombed. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised only because in my like small bubble of experience, my theater was packed. My theater was the most packed it's been all year. Was at Furiosa. Dune Part 2 actually might have been the same level of packed. Was Dune Part 2 and Furiosa, at least in my area, in my theater. But yeah, it did not do well. And I mean, when you look at it logistically, I guess it doesn't really surprise me all that much. I mean, Fury Road wasn't necessarily beloved. Mad Max is a franchise, is an IP, but is it really an IP that many people talk about? Like it's not a Harry Potter. It's not a Star Wars. It's not a MCU. Like Mad Max is not a very talked about IP. So yeah, I'm not too surprised. And yeah, Fury Road was kind of niche. But yeah, it's a bummer to see. It's a bummer to see because it is like an epic. Like watching it on the big screen, like there are many moments where I was like, this feels like I'm experiencing this generation's Ben-Hur. Like it just has that feeling of like almost like a biblical epic. Like there's almost a sense of it, and it looks great on the big screen, and it's a great theater experience. So yeah, it's too bad that people are missing out on it. Zack Attack Reviews says The Last Stop in Yuma Country is worth the rent. The first movie in a long time that surprised me. The Last Stop in Yuma Country. All right, or County. The Last Stop in Yuma County. I've never heard of it, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now that you've said that, man. The Laser says Disney 2024 box office predictions. Inside Out, 850 million worldwide. All right. Moana 2, 705 million worldwide. Deadpool 3, 905 million worldwide. Ooh, you think it gets just shy of that billion. And Mufasa the Lion King, 645 million worldwide. Those are very good predictions, man. Those are very good predictions. I think your Inside Out 2 is very well, like, because if it made $1 billion, I wouldn't be surprised. But if it came short of $1 billion, I also wouldn't be surprised. But I do think that like 800, 900 million mark is probably where they're hoping Inside Out 2 will land. But I could also see it going as low as 600 million just because of where the box office has been this whole year. Moana 2, I'd probably agree with you around the 700 million mark on that one. Deadpool 3, I'm on the believer side. If it's good, if it's what we want it to be, $1 billion I think is what it's going to make. I think it will hit that $1 billion, and I think it will have a lot of repeat viewings too. And then Mufasa, Lion King 645. I think Mufasa might be underestimated a little bit. It does have the Lion King name attached to it, which I do think will help. It's not the Lion King though, but I don't know. Like, a lot of audiences went out to see that Lion King in 2019. I mean, that movie crossed over the $1 billion mark, and they coming out in December, Christmas time. I think it could make more. I could see it getting higher. I could see it maybe not $1 billion, but maybe 800, maybe close to 900, maybe in the 900 millions. I don't know, man. But those are good predictions. I like those numbers. Oh, where's my mouse? There we go. Zack Attack says, I've also only seen Fury Road and Furiosa. All right, man. You and I are in the same place. Zack Attack says, Just Cause can definitely work with the right creative team. I mean, I think anything can really work with the right creative team. So, yeah, I agree with that for sure. But have you seen that with the... Isn't Just Cause just an action flick on an island? Very much. Very much so. Yeah, I would say so. I would say Just Cause can be just an action flick on an island. That's how I played it anyways when I played the games. Marvin Watch Show says, are you an introvert or an extrovert? Definitely an introvert. I think people would be surprised. Well, actually, you'd be surprised to learn that I don't talk this much in real life. And then you'd also be unsurprised to hear that's why I talk so much on live stream. I think if you met me, you'd be surprised at how shy and timid I can be. Unless I'm like really comfortable with the person, I don't say much. I'm not much of a loudmouth. I keep to myself quite often. And yeah, I'm kind of just like, especially in social situations, I am a silent observer. It's very rare that I'll find myself jumping into conversations or adding something. I usually just listen. I usually just watch people talk and listen and just kind of observe and yeah, I'm not one to be quick to speak. Again, unless like you're a really good friend or I've known you for a while and I've gotten really comfortable with you, then this side kind of comes out a little bit more for sure. But no, I'm way more comfortable on live streams, talking on YouTube than I am in life talking to people, which, you know, some would say may be unhealthy, might be something I want to fix, because, you know, you do interact with human faces more than you do online. But yeah, I'm definitely an introvert. I like to stay home. I like my space. I like my time to myself. I get exhausted when I'm around a lot of people or when I'm in a social situation. So yeah, definitely an introvert. Dakota Man Movie says, I think Cars 2 is hated on too much. I find it to be a great Pixar movie and a great add into the spy genre. It's fun how we are able to focus on Mater too. I'm glad you feel that way, man. I'm glad you have a good time with Cars 2. I do not like Cars 2. I didn't like it. I didn't like it when I first watched it, and I haven't gone back to watch it. So all I have is that memory. Zack Attack says, Fury Road has so much story, it's just not force-fed. That's true. That is true. Because there is a lot of world building in Fury Road. There is a lot that is presented to us in visuals and in dialogue. And yeah, you're right. It's not as straightforward of a narrative and a character focused as Furiosa is. Which, I mean, Furiosa's name is literally the title of the movie, so it should be character focused. They're different movies for sure. Trez Movie says, despite being a masterpiece, I don't think Fury Road is as popular as people think it is, and that's why Furiosa bombed. I mean, it definitely isn't as popular as people think it is. I mean, my brother, who's a big movie fan just like myself, he just watched Fury Road for the first time because we were going to go see Furiosa. So, yeah, it's also 9 years old. I think within the pop culture zeitgeist, I think like we talk about it, but I don't think it's that talked about besides hardcore film movie buff fans. So, yeah, I think that is definitely a contributor to why it bombed. I mean, there's tons of contributors as to why it bombed, but yeah, I do think it also they kind of set it up to fail with the budget they gave it. I mean, the thing has a $168 million budget, and Fury Road, I think, made $400 million worldwide at the end of it. I think it did. Could be wrong about that. And that was also 2015. We were in a very different landscape with movie theaters and people going to the movies. There was no pandemic, obviously. Wasn't even a thought in our minds. We were all still sending that Office meme of Dwight saying we need a new plague. Remember how guilty you felt when COVID hit and you realized you had sent that meme out? I remember how I felt. So yeah, no, it was a different time. I don't think this movie should have had a $168 million budget. I think it was just setting it up to fail. And yeah, definitely Fury Road is popular with the movie buffs, but I don't think it's popular with the overall general audience. I also don't think it was marketed very well, to be honest with you. I don't think the marketing was that great for Furiosa. Michael11591 says, I would be interested for the 100th episode as a guest, dude. Well, dude, I'm definitely planning some things. And yeah, I appreciate you wanting to come on. I'm humbled. I'm grateful that you want to, and I'd love to have you on. And we will. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm hoping. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. The View with Drew says I'm planning on doing my very first watch along soon. It'll be for the first Hangover. That's very exciting, man. That's a funny movie to do it to as well, man. So I hope you have a great time with that. Kenny Sparks says I do not recommend open links ever. Yeah, I know. That's definitely what I lean towards. That's definitely what I lean towards. It's the part of me that believes everyone is good, which sometimes is a big benefit in my life, and other times it's a detriment in my life. My wife will tell me. I just believe everyone is nice and good, and hey, if they're gonna come onto the channel, they're not gonna, do something inappropriate live on camera. They wouldn't do that, but only takes that one person who's like, oh, you know what? What if I just took my dick out right now on camera? It's like, oh, great. Now my channel's gone because this guy decided to do that. So to be a dick, for lack of better words. So yeah, no, definitely. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening because I can't get that. I can't get over that. But I want to do something. We're going to do something. I just have to figure it out. But like I said, we're like months away. Like there's tons of time to plan. There's months away from hitting 100. I probably won't start like really getting my plans together. Like right now, I'm in the brainstorming. Phase. I won't actually get my like actual thing ready to go until we're at like show 95 or like show 96. Like when it's like, okay, 100 is happening in a couple of weeks. Now I got to get it into hot gear. But right now, I'm just in the brainstorming phase. Trev's Movie says I'm probably too over the top for your stream, Zach. I bet it would be a blast. I bet we would have a lot of fun having you on the stream. Have you seen that with D says by that time your 100th episode you'll be at 5,000 subs and too big for us little people? Dude, no, never. First of all, that's very kind of you. That's very kind of you, T, to say that by October I'll be at 5,000 subs. That would be incredible, obviously, but no, I never want to. I never want to get there where it's like you're too big for the little people. If I ever, like, I don't know. If I ever get to 100,000 subscribers, let's just say that. If that ever actually happens, if this is a full-time job, 100,000 subscribers, if that somehow happens, I still want to be bringing on people who have like 100 subscribers. I still want to be bringing on people who are just starting out. Like I don't want to get there, And that's like where like, maybe if I actually got there, it'd be like, oh, actually, that's a lot harder to do than I thought it was at 2,000 subscribers. But no, I will never be too big for anyone. And you're not little people. Don't tell yourself like that. You're not little people at all. Collector Movie Man says, Zach, I'm thinking about picking up the complete first season of Pokemon. I've been really been wanting to watch Pokemon. I think it's mainly because I play Pokemon Go. Yeah, Pokemon Go was a big thing at one time, wasn't it? That's awesome, dude. I mean, the first season of Pokemon is probably the season that I remember the most, because I think the first season of Pokemon is what I watched the most. I can't remember when I fell off Pokemon. I know that for a very long time I held on hope to seeing Ash finally become a Pokemon master. I was just waiting for it to happen, and then eventually I think I got to the age where I was like, you know what? I don't think he's ever going to age. I don't think he's ever going to grow up. I don't think he's ever going to become a master. And then I think that's probably when I fell off. But the first season of Pokemon, back when they only had like, what was it, 150, 130, collect them all, whatever it was. Now they're at like, I don't even know. I think they're at like 1,000 Pokemon there is now. That's what I remember the most. Toxic Gamer 331 says, do you think Deadpool and Wolverine should have been PG-13? If not, do you think they should have had a PG-13 cut? I do not think that it should have been PG-13. I mean, like violence-wise, I think, like, do I want sex and nudity in Deadpool and stuff like that? No, I don't want that. But with the R-rated, Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 being R-rated with the violence and stuff like that, you gave fans the expectations. Like, this is Deadpool. This is what we can expect from Deadpool. If you had made Deadpool PG-13, Deadpool and Wolverine PG-13, I think there'd still be excitement, but you'd have more pushback against it too, because especially with it coming into Disney and Fox being sucked into Disney, merged into Disney, there was already that fear of like, oh, they're going to Disney-fy it, they're going to ruin Deadpool. And if they had done PG-13, there would have been people that would have been all over YouTube making thumbnails and videos about how Disney ruined Deadpool 3. We were right. Deadpool's ruined under Disney. So I think it's right to continue with the R-rated. And Deadpool's just an R-rated franchise. Embrace it. That's what made it popular. That's what makes it work. So keep it R-rated. As far as the PG-13 cut, we kind of already talked about that a little bit earlier. My thoughts on it are basically, if they do it, I really don't think there's any harm in doing it. I doubt it would cost that much more to do, and I feel like it would only help the box office. So I really can't think of a negative as to why they wouldn't do it. But do I expect them to do it? No, I don't. Collector Movie Man says, Zach, I have a question for you. I just wonder, how often should you put out a video? I mean, you definitely want to be consistent. You definitely want to have a consistency on YouTube, because that will just help the channel grow, and people kind of like can expect that you'll be posting one video a week. I think one video a week is fine, especially like if you're starting out, or if you're like just like your first year or first 2 years in. And the thing with that too is like I don't know your life, like you have a job, you might have hobbies and other things you do throughout my weeks, like, I have work on Monday from like 7 to 4:30, and then I go to a Bible study right after that. Don't get home till like 10, and then Tuesday night is usually pretty free, but that's usually when I'm working on the show. And then Wednesday night, as soon as I get home from work, I'm prepping for the show and getting that ready to go. Then Thursday night at work, and then I come and have another Bible study, and then Friday night's my movie night. And so, and then the weekends, chores, errands, grocery shopping, hanging out with family, seeing people. There's a lot to work around, right? So you just have to find the schedule that works for you. And if you can commit to, 2 videos a week, do 2 videos a week. If you can do 3 videos, do 3. But like, don't overstress yourself if it's unnecessary. If you can only put out 1 video a week, I think that's good enough. And I think that that's something to strive for and something to consistently do, because consistency is the most important. What can you do to stay consistent? Like, okay, I can put out 3 videos this week, but can I still put out 3 videos in 2 weeks? 4 weeks from now? Does my schedule still allow me to put out 3 videos a week? Or am I just going to start stressing out because I haven't put out 3 videos a week? But if you commit to 1 video a week, gives you time to edit it, gives you time to shoot it, gives you time to shoot it, gives you time to edit it, gives you time to work on it, make it something worth watching, make it good, and put out some quality content out there, and then people come back every week and watch a video from you. So, I would say there's really no right answer, but I think 1 video a week is totally cool. Totally a good start. Toxic Gamer 331 says so it could make any more money. I'm assuming we're talking about the PG-13 cut of Deadpool. Absolutely, yep. Chuko's Powerhouse Cinema says, Zach, who are you taking in a fight, John Wick or Jason Bourne? Oh my gosh. Okay, how do I want to die? You know what? I think I'll take John Wick because a bullet to the head, I think, is quicker than Jason. I think Jason Bourne is more fists. I feel like Matt Damon's gonna be pounding on me for a little bit to kill me. Whereas I feel like John Wick, quick. It's quick. It's probably quick and a little bit less painless. So I'll go with John Wick. Toxic Gamer 331 says, what do you think was the last great Pixar and DreamWorks movie, Zach? The last great Pixar movie was probably Toy Story 4. I haven't really liked too much. Soul was okay, but I didn't really like Soul that much. When he was put into the cat, I was just kind of like, kind of lost me. DreamWorks. Oh man, dude, I don't even know what does DreamWorks put out. I'd have to. No, I know what DreamWorks put. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, easily. Yeah, the last great DreamWorks movie was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That thing was amazing. That thing that was way better than it had any right to be. I love that movie. That sounds like. Yeah, slapping at the stinkers, I'm sure, is what you were referring to. Oh man, that's funny. I've never heard of, 1998. It came out my birth year, so I'm sure T that you were not watching Slappy and the Stinkers in 1998. I'm sure that was just me. And people my age. The View with Drew says the Lego Marvel mini movie I made is War Machine Origins. It will premiere on my channel live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awesome, dude. That's amazing. Everyone, get ready to watch that. Michael11591 says, I love Slappy and the Stinkers. It's a guilty pleasure. I watched it all the time as a kid. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone back to it since I was a kid, but I enjoyed it as a kid. I thought it was fun. Sorry, I meant to say this Friday. Oh, I see. Yeah, your Lego movie will come out this Friday at 9. Okay, perfect, man. Awesome. Daily Reacts for Gaming says, my birthday in 2 weeks. I'm turning 22 years old. I'll start doing a reaction to TMNT after my birthday. I hope you'll be able to check it out when you get a chance. I'm looking forward to it, man. That's awesome. Where did we leave off? Here we go. Carlos Gabriel says, I'm watching Argyle now. Got to do a movie review. Nice, dude. Yeah. You know what? Argyle got a lot of hate. And I understand the criticisms. Absolutely. I don't disagree with any of the criticisms. I had a blast with it, though. I had a lot of fun with Argyle. I thought it was a fun movie. Collective Movie Man says, I just started watching The Bear. I'm on season 2. I literally watched all of season 1 in one night. The only thing that bothers me is the commercials from Hulu. I mean, I have it on Disney Plus, and I have the non-ad version on Disney Plus, so I don't get any of those commercials. But yeah, season 1 in one night. Yeah, man, it's a binge-worthy show. It's so good. I cannot wait for season 3. I'm glad you're liking it, dude. Collective Movie Man says, I think Rhino would be cool for Spider-Man. I mean, he definitely deserves a do-over. I mean, they did him in The Amazing Spider-Man, but they didn't do him well. So I agree with you, man. I think get Rhino back in here. Get Rhino right. Give him some justice. Where am I at? The Laser says, do you feel like there has been a lack of marketing for Bad Boys 4? They released their first trailer almost 2 months ago before release, and the fact that the movie comes out in almost a week, there's no hype. That's a good point. I don't know if I would say that there's a lack of marketing, because I feel like I've seen a lot of marketing for Bad Boys. I feel like I've seen a lot of trailers play before YouTube videos. I've seen the trailer play in my movie theater. I just saw, what was it? Oh, that's what it was. I was watching The King of Queens on Pluto TV, and talk about annoyance with ads. They give you an ad like every 3 minutes. But there was like 2 of those ads was for Bad Boys 4. And that was just last night. So I don't know if it's been lacking in marketing, because I feel like I've been seeing a lot of it. I don't know how like, I don't know many people that are craving a new Bad Boys 4. Like, I think the Bad Boys fans will come out to it for sure, opening weekend and all that, but I don't really know if it's a movie franchise that, like, we're yearning for. So, yeah, I'm definitely not super excited for it. I've never really been into Bad Boys anyways, so I'll probably end up checking it out, but I'm not surprised there's not that much hype, to be honest with you. And, you know, a lot of Bad Boys fans did not like the third film. I thought the third film was actually pretty decent. I enjoyed it, but not many people did. Kenny Sparks says, don't know what I'd do without Canva. Yeah, man, Canva's a lifesaver. Thank you, Cassidy Wilm? Thank you, Cassidy Milne, my beautiful wife, for letting me know about Canva. Let's see here. We got, have you seen it with T saying, For the Love of the Game, my favorite cheesy sports movie. The Love of the Game. I've never heard of it. I'll have to check that out, man. Katie Sparks says, I gotta go with the Mighty Ducks trilogy for over-the-top cheese that I love. Full disclosure, I've never seen the Mighty Ducks. I know. You're all gasping behind this camera, behind your screens right now. You're all gasping. I've never seen it. I should, but I've never seen it. Where is my... Man, this mouse just sucks. Whoops. We did a jump. Wow, there's a lot more questions to go. Oh, my goodness. The Laser says, I hit 700 lists on Letterboxd. It's so hard to keep up with them. Can you wonder why? Why has movies flopped this year? Do you think it's because people just want to wait till movies hit digital? Well, first of all, dude, 700 lists on Letterboxd. That's amazing. Yeah, no, that's kind of the question going around right now, right? Like, why are the movies flopping? Why aren't people going to the movie theaters? You know, I think that there's a lot of factors, of course, that go into this. As much as, you know, as much as people are such hypocritical creatures. As much as people want more originality, Hollywood doesn't make anything original anymore. If it's not an IP, they don't trust it. Simple as that. If it's not an IP that they recognize, people don't trust it. People don't care. Look at Fall Guy. Look at even Argyle. Look at I don't know. I don't think Abigail did that well. If it's an original new thing, people just don't go out to support it, unfortunately. And if you look at the beginning of the year, there's actually a lot of original movies. Like, just looking at my letterbox and like movies that weren't IPs. Night Swim, ISS, Argyle, Lisa Frankenstein. Let's see what else we have. Now we're getting The Beekeeper was a new thing. Monkey Man was new. Civil War was new. Abigail was new. Fall Guy was new. Book of Clarence. Ungenitally Warfare was new as well. And then, yeah, there's IPs mixed in there as well. But we've gotten a lot of original movies. And the audience just doesn't care. It's not IP. Even the IP, though, like, if you look at, Ghostbusters, even Kung Fu Panda 4, I think it did fine, but I don't think it did amazing. And then, yeah, this past weekend we got Furiosa and Garfield. And, you know, with Furiosa, it's the thing where it's like Mad Max. It's an old IP. Not everyone loves or even really has known Mad Max. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that are going into it, as well as, like, you know, pre-pandemic or during the pandemic, I should say. Audiences, we didn't get accustomed. We got conditioned to watching things at home. Like streaming went overboard. Like everything was coming out on streaming, and then there was day and day releases. You also can't negate the fact that movie theaters aren't the only thing anymore. There is endless amounts of things on streaming. There are endless things to watch on streaming. And there's a large majority of people that would rather stay home and watch something for free or watch something on their already streaming service. And you also have the fact that the theaters kind of shot themselves in the foot when they shrunk the theatrical window, when they what was it? Fall Guy, I think, was in theaters for not even a month. And then you could rent it at home. I mean, if they're not us, if they're not the hardcore movie fans, if they don't review movies on YouTube, if they don't just want to see everything that they can get their hands on, waiting 2 weeks for a movie that's in theaters to watch, easy. You can easily wait 2 weeks without spending a crap ton of money at the theater, drinks and a concession, and taking the whole family out. 2 weeks and it'll be $24.99 on VOD. Fine with me. I'll just wait. I think that's the majority. I think we're the minority. So yeah, I think there's many factors. I don't have all the answers. I might not even have any of the answers, but it's definitely not just one thing, and it's definitely something that movie theaters and movie studios need to look at, collaborate on, and try to figure out, because it's that's the thing, is we say it's getting bad. We say that it's bad, but then, you know, we're talking about, oh, Inside Out will hit 800 million and Deadpool and Wolverine's going to hit 1 billion, and you know, there will be success stories still, but not everything is going to be a success anymore. Unprofessional Critics. Well, thank you for joining Unprofessional Critics. Glad to have you here. Says, what would be the worst MCU casting for Giancarlo Esposito? I can never say his name right. The worst MCU casting would probably be recasting him as... Actually, he'd be a cool Captain Marvel. Yeah, I don't know. The worst casting would probably... That's tricky because he's a good actor. I feel like he could make anything work. I feel like he could make it work. I think it would be a mistake if you made him... If you said that Secret Invasion, Rhodey wasn't Rhodey the entire time, the Skrull got the look wrong, and then it was Giancarlo Esposito or something, and they made him Rhodey. I don't know. I'm spitballing here at this point. There's a lot that you could probably do that would be really weird to cast him as, but I don't know. He's a great actor. I think he could do it. Maybe don't recast him as MODOK. Actually, you know what? I want to see him do MODOK now. I want to see Giancarlo Esposito. I want to see him as MODOK. Can we get that happening? Who do I have to contact for that to happen? Have you seen that? What T says? I'm doing another one this Saturday, Zach, and I need you there if you're free. Unfortunately, this Saturday I'm not free. I'm free for members in the morning. We're gonna do members for sure. Members Talk Live, and then I have to beeline it. I'm going out of town to a birthday party. I don't know how long I'm there for. I think I'm there until the evening. So unfortunately, I'm not available this Saturday. Otherwise, I would have loved to have joined you, man. Thank you so much for extending that out. Let's get something to work out, though. Let's get something to work out. Talks Game with 331 says, what's the last movie you were hyped for in theaters but was super disappointed with? Rise of Skywalker comes to mind. That was 2019. I was less excited because of Last Jedi, but I was still excited, and then I walked out very disappointed. Other than that, I mean, I was excited for ISS, and that disappointed me. It wasn't like super hype, but that disappointed me. Oh, and then of course there's Madam Web. I mean, that should have been the cinematic achievement of the year. Oh man, I can't believe how badly they blew it. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, just bad. And it could have been great. No. I was not anticipating Madam Web. Yeah, no, Rise of Skywalker is the last one that really comes to mind, but I'm sure there's other ones there. That I'm not thinking of. The Laser. Gotta go in less than 30 minutes. You're probably gone at this point. I have no idea how far behind I am. I gotta get editing my Moana 2 teaser trailer breakdown video. I will start a whole new playlist called the Moana 2 News and Updates, and it will go on for 5 months. Nice, man. Playlists. That's the way to go. That's awesome, man. We got Talks Game with 331 saying, I finished filming half of my WWE 2004 video. The other half I'll film tomorrow. Nice, dude. Great job. Kenny Sparks saying, gotta head out. Have a good night, y'all. Well, you too, Ken. Thank you so much for being here, dude. Thank you so much for hanging out. And the show is made better because you were a part of it, my friend. And I appreciate you, dude. Have a great night. Have you seen that? What T says? I'm modding 2024 as I'm listening to his stream. That's awesome, man. Always a pleasure and an honor to be a part of the multitasking. Nathan's Random Movie says, heading out now. Great stream as always. Have a great summer blockbuster season. You too, Nathan. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Thank you for hanging out. And the show is made better because you were a part of it, and I appreciate you, dude. Have a great night. Talks Game with 331 says, all three of Zach's in WWE 2024 are going to be in the Money in the Bank match with my friends Jackson Ace Bane and Professor PYG from DC, and the last entrant, the Incredible Hulk, who you guys got? Well, the Incredible Hulk's going to kill us. I mean, the Zack Scream Supreme, but not against the Hulk. Collector Movie Man says, I would definitely like to know what you think of my 4K and my video. Have a good night. Okay, for sure, man. I'll head over to your channel when I can. No promises that it'll be tonight, but I'll head over there. I'll check it out. And thank you so much for being here, Collector Movie Man. Thank you for being a member. And the show is made better because you were a part of it, my friend. And I appreciate you, dude. You have a good night. Toxic331 says, I think my I think May actually finally started to put 2024's movie season into gear with Furiosa, Fall Guy, and Kingdom. It's getting better. It's getting better. We were in the rough patches. We were in the ditches of the year. It was brutal. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it was underwhelming. It was an underwhelming year. Fall Guy, I enjoyed Fall Guy. Kingdom, I loved Kingdom. And Furiosa. All of those have been very good experiences in the theater. So we're on the upswing. Hopefully it continues. Brandon Hornsby, what's going on, Brandon? Thanks for joining, my friend. It says, Taylor Swift didn't even promote Cats to the Swifties. The studio hoped that she would, thinking that's where it'll make most of its money, but she didn't. She probably knew what it was. She probably knew it was a big pile of what belonged in cat litter. Collective Movie Man says there's rumors floating around that we could be getting the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie on 4K and also my third favorite TV show, Sopranos, on 4K. Well, I wouldn't doubt it. They put everything on 4K. Green Lantern? Come on. That's nostalgic. That's a classic. Put it out on 4K. Brandon Hornsby says, honestly, Onward is super underrated. I thought Onward was fine. I don't know if I can say it's underrated because I think that it has a very strong emotional core, especially by the end. But the entire journey didn't fully captivate me the entire time. I thought it was good. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's just not one of the most memorable Pixar movies for me. So I can definitely see the argument for that, but I may not agree. Slightly. Alamo City Movie Talk, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, saying, hey, how's it going? It's going pretty well. How are you guys doing? You guys are killing it over on your channel, by the way. I've been keeping up with you guys, watching you. Really great stuff, great content, and you guys are killing it. Congratulations on all of the success over there. Let's see here. We got, have you seen that what T says? I think I subscribed to a different Toxic Gamer before because I swore I was subscribed to you. Oh, you just subscribed to Toxic Gamer. That's awesome. Love to see it. Toxic Gamer 331 says, are you going to be seeing Bad Boys for Life or the new Daisy Ridley movie based on a true story? Probably yes to Bad Boys. I'll probably end up checking that out. And then Daisy Ridley's movie, if it comes to my theater, I want to check it out. But I don't think it's going to. But I'm interested in it. I saw the trailer for it. And honestly, it looks pretty good. And you know, I feel bad for Daisy Ridley because she was kind of like a new face. She was fresh out of the, I want to say, England play scene. She gets pulled into Star Wars, huge big break, and then they write her character horribly. They totally do a disservice to the actress. And she's kind of been getting flack on the internet ever since because people don't like Rey. Which is fair. If you don't like Rey, I understand why you wouldn't like Rey. There's problems I have with the characters too. But, you know, a lot of it extended, as it does with Star Wars usually, beyond Rey and extended to Daisy Ridley. And I felt bad for her as an actress for that. So this looks great. I hope it's good for her. I hope it's good for her career. And she looks great in it. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Marvin Wanjo says, as a YouTuber, what time do you wake up and go to bed to start doing YouTube? Well, I mean, I get up pretty early to go to work, so I don't do YouTube in the morning very often because I'm usually getting up by I'm usually up at 6 a.m. And I don't really want to get up any earlier than that for work. I do a lot of YouTube in the evenings. I'll do an hour, sometimes an hour and a half before I have to go to Bible study on Mondays. As I said, Tuesday, I'm usually prepping the show, looking at the news stories, collecting my graphics and images and getting them ready to go. And then Wednesday is the finalization. And then, you know, I get onto I do the show. And then on Wednesday is my late night because Wednesday, the show ends somewhere between 9:30 and 10:30. I would say is fair to say is, I mean, we're already at 9:42, so yeah, my time, it's 9:42 p.m. my time at the moment. So yeah, Wednesday's my late night because I do the show till about 9:30, 10:30 at night, and then I screen record. That's how I get all my clips, by the way, is I screen record the segments off of the live stream. I upload them to both my phone and my iPad, and I edit them a little bit if I need to in iMovie while those are exporting into my camera roll if I haven't already, because I try to do it on Tuesday or even Wednesday after work. I work on the thumbnails that are then going to go up on those segments, and I also work on the descriptions that I'm going to be putting onto the segments for their descriptions. So that can take me from the show ends at 10:30. I usually go to bed on Wednesday nights at around 12:30. And then I'm up at 6 for work the next day. So, and I don't need to do that. I choose to do that. So I'm not looking for any pity on that. And then, yeah, Friday I go to a movie. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of work on Thursday as well before my Bible study on Thursday. Sometimes I'll get 2 hours in here or there. And then Saturday is Members Talk Live. So I get up at about, I work on that on Fridays. I get up at about 8 o'clock because the show goes on at 10 o'clock. So I get up about 8 o'clock to get the graphics and stuff ready for that. And then Saturday, sometimes I'll do some editing. Sometimes I'll shoot something. But Sunday is usually my complete day off. Like usually on Sundays, I'm not doing anything YouTube related. Usually Sunday is like church, spend time with family, run some errands, do some chores. That's Sunday. But yeah, I would say that I do a lot of YouTube in the evenings and the late afternoons, Monday through Saturday. That's kind of my schedule. So, but yeah, usually like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm in bed at like 10:30, something like that. Talks Game with 331 says, what are some movies over the last few years you think should have not bombed at all? Well, the one that always comes to mind is The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys is such a good movie that should not have bombed. It was yeah. The Flash, honestly, I know that's controversial. I know people are going to disagree with me. Zach, that movie sucks. I like that movie quite a bit. And that movie did horribly. And I don't think it deserved to. I don't think that it deserved to do that badly. And it was also the inflated budget and all that kind of stuff, too, that kind of lent to it losing money. But I thought that should have been way more of a hit, was The Flash. Even the Marvels. Even the Marvels, I think, should have had a little bit more at the box office. But at the same time, I can see all of the flaws with that movie, so I'm not going to argue anyone who says otherwise. The Laser says, I'm a head out now. I'm going to go hang out with family. Well, dude, have a great time with your family. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. The show was made better because you were a part of it, my friend, and I appreciate you, dude. You have a good night. Talking with you, one says, same Zach about introvert, even though I do love hanging out with my friends. I mean, yeah, I like hanging out with my friends. Like when I'm comfortable with my friends, so I'm a little bit more open and a little bit more exaggerated with my friends as well. But for the most part, not really. Talking with you, one says, yeah, I think Cars 2 is overhated too. Don't get me wrong. I think it's meh, but people always consider it the worst Pixar movie. I consider Turning Red the worst Pixar movie. I don't disagree with you. I did not like Turning Red. Turning Red was not for me. Talking with you, one says, okay, I have a question for you, Zach, and the chat. My mom and dad don't know about me seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. What should I say to convince them to let me see it? I'm assuming you're saying that because you're not 18. I'm assuming you're underage. Look, in good consciousness, I can't tell you to lie to your parents. I can't tell you to deceive them to see Deadpool and Wolverine. You know, that's not responsible of me. So I can't do that. But if you haven't showed them Deadpool and Deadpool 2, now I don't know your parents. I don't know anything about them, right? But here. This is gonna be a weird story, but here's a story. When I was in middle school, I was really into Twilight. I had a Twilight phase. I read all the books and I watched all the movies. And Breaking Dawn Part 1 was coming out. Now look, I grew up in a Christian household. Which by the way, every time I say that, I just want a disclaimer. I'm not bitter about it, and this is not a story of like, they didn't let me watch certain stuff. Like, I'm very thankful for how I grew up. But in my household, magic, vampires, dark elements were off limits. But on my spare time, secretly, I was into the Twilight. What were they called? Twilighties, a Twilight Heart, whatever they were called. Team Jacob. I was Twilight. So I wanted to see Breaking Dawn Part 1, and I knew that if I could get my mom to get invested into the Bella and Edward relationship and the drama with Jacob and look past the wolves and look past the vampires, I was very convinced I could get her hooked on this franchise. And then I started showing her the movies, and sure enough, she was hesitant at first, but then I just kind of moved her focus onto the romance, and she got into it. And as we were watching the movies, I was dropping hints of, there's another one coming out. There's another one in theaters, I hear. Oh, there's another one coming out. And sure enough, we finished all the movies. And then the Friday the movie came out, my mom surprised me picking me up from school. She had bought tickets to Breaking Dawn Part 1. And I did go see Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 with my mom. And I have no regrets. No regrets. After that, after Breaking Dawn Part 2, I was in Twilight again. So all of this to say, if you can get one of your parents to watch Deadpool and Deadpool 2, maybe even get them to watch Logan, where they get invested into the story and they don't care that it's R-rated or it's super bloody. Again, I don't know your parents, maybe this won't work, but if you can get your mom or your dad hooked into Deadpool and Wolverine, they just might come up with the idea to take you. It's just an idea. I'm not saying it's going to work. I don't know your parents. Your parents could be different from my parents. I'm just saying. Doesn't hurt to try. Toxgamer331 says, if you ever get into live streaming of filming video game videos, I recommend starting out with all 4 of the seasons of The Walking Dead, the Telltale series video game. It's multi-choice and my favorite video game of all time, and has my favorite character in all of fiction, that being Clementine. I probably won't do that, if I'm being honest with you. I have not really been someone who's into the video game scene, so I really don't know if I'm going to get into it at this stage of my life, but I appreciate the recommendation. I appreciate the suggestion, and if I ever do, I'll keep that in mind. Tox Gamer says, what's a movie trailer the last few months that has been annoyingly replayed, and what are some movie trailers that you don't think haven't been shown enough? You cannot show that Deadpool and Wolverine trailer enough, my friend. I have not seen that enough in theaters. I need to see more of it. No, annoying trailers. I found the If trailer in my theater in particular got played over a lot, and I felt that started to get a little bit annoying. I haven't seen the movie yet. I still want to see it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, so I haven't seen it. But I do want to see it. But the trailer was starting to get a little bit annoying, the way that it was playing in my theater. And as far as that, I don't really know of any movie trailers that I don't think has been shown enough. Besides, like I said, Deadpool and Wolverine, just show that to me every day. Actually, there's been a surprising lack of Alien Romulus. I mean, I guess... Well, actually, no, I'm seeing quite a bit PG-13 and R-rated movies. There's been a lack of Alien Romulus trailers. Show me more of those. Collective Movie Man says, I usually only put out one video a month, and it's mainly my pickups for the whole month. Hey, you know what, dude? If that works for you now, that works for you. And keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't extend yourself. Don't put unneeded pressure onto yourself would be my advice. If that's working for you and you're having fun with that, keep doing it, dude. Toxic331 says, who are 3 horror movie villains you would not want to get chased by at all, and 3 you wouldn't mind getting chased by? I mean, 3, Jason, Freddy, and It Follows, whatever that's called, the It Follows creature. Those are 3 I don't want to get followed by ever. 3 I wouldn't mind getting chased by. Let's go Freddy. Not Freddy. I just said Freddy. Chucky. Let's go Chucky. Man, the rest are all terrifying. I was going to say Megan, but no, she's scary. Keep Megan away from me. The shark from Jaws, because I just won't ever get in the water, if that counts. I'll pick that one. And, oh man, I don't know. They're all so terrifying. They're all so scary. No, man, I don't know. Pennywise would be terrifying. I was just thinking of Pennywise, but that wouldn't work out. No, the rest are terrifying. I can only think of 2. The rest are terrifying. I don't think any of them would work out well. Oh my goodness, we got so many more questions to go. I gotta speed up on these. Toxic Gamer says, I've decided my top 15 favorite movies of all time. What do you guys think? You got 15, Kung Fu Panda, I Am Legend, Wreck-It Ralph, Inception, Men in Black, the original Karate Kid, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, The Lost Boys, Jaws 6, The Mummy, E.T., Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future, top 3, yes, 2, Scream 1, and 1, Jurassic Park. That's an excellent list. I don't have any problem with any of those. Those are fantastic picks, dude. And top 15 of all time. Very impressive. The Laser says, I have returned. Welcome back, my friend. He says, Inside Out 2 has a predicted box office of 80 to 115 million. That's probably opening weekend. Not only will this be bigger than Dune 2 and Godzilla, making it the biggest opener in 2023, how much can Inside Out 2 make? I could see it hitting 120, 125, maybe 130. I honestly think people are underestimating Inside Out 2. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be interested in watching Inside Out 2, especially if it has the word of mouth that helps it. And I think it's a 4-quadrant film. I think there's kids that have grown up with Inside Out that are going to see this as nostalgically returning to their childhood. So I think Inside Out 2 is going to kill it. I think it'll do more than 115 million opening weekend. Toxic Gamer says, P.S. All 10 out of 10s. I'm pretty sure all my top 30, maybe top 50 favorite movies of all time are 10 out of 10s. Nice, man. I mean, hey, you giving Back to the Future a 10 out of 10. I ain't going to complain about that. Toxic Gamer 331 says, since the movie came out in February, how do you think Argyle will fit into the Kingsman franchise with that end credit scene? I don't know. That's the one part of the movie that I was like, did you need to do that? Did we need to make it a cinematic universe with Kingsman? I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think it's necessary. And I'm not quite sure how they're going to work it in. I'm not quite sure if we're going to see like Eggsy or any of them back again. So, what, Eggsy? We'll have to see. The Laser says Kung Fu Panda 4 made $541 million on a budget of $85 million. Okay, that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good then. So, good for Kung Fu Panda 4. Good for it. Toxic Gamer 331 says, what are your top 3 favorite guilty pleasure movies of all time? Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers is up there. Weekend at Bernie's is up there. Some would argue it's a great movie. It's not a great movie, but it's a guilty pleasure one. And, you know, I have a video on the channel about guilty pleasure movies, and I have a companion video along with it on the members page. So you can check out that video for more thoughts. But those are definitely the two. Like Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers has always been one, and Weekend at Bernie's has always been one. But there's more. If you want to check out that video, it's on the channel. I think it's just titled Guilty Pleasure Movies. The Laser says, also wanted to say I love your setup. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm very proud of the setup. It's been an evolution. It's been developing for a number of years, and where it's at right now, I'm very, very happy with. So thank you so much, man, for recognizing that and giving the feedback and just the kind words. I appreciate that. Collective Movie Man says, I think Deadpool and Wolverine will really help the movie theaters. I think that's going to be the one movie that brings a lot of people out. I think so too. And that's the thing, is that people say there's comic book and superhero fatigue and superhero movies are killing the cinemas, but that's the only thing people go to. People only go to these kind of movies. At least it seems like it. So yeah, no, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be the story that makes people go, maybe the theaters aren't dead, after saying that the theaters are dead for all these months. I think it's going to be huge. I really do. Toxic Gamer 51 says, also just curious, would any of those movies make your top 50 or top 100 movies of all time? Absolutely. Jurassic Park is in there for me. Back to the Future is in there for me. What did you have? I can't remember what your whole list was, but there's definitely ones in there that are definitely like in my top 5 favorite of all time. Toxic Gamer 331 says, what do you think are some of the most underrated movies of the year so far? Some of the most overrated movies of the year thus far, and most perfectly rated movies of the year thus far. I mean, that's a lot to throw at me, man. I don't know if I can do all of that, but I mean, I think that man, I don't know, because a lot of the movies haven't really impressed me. A lot of the movies I'm not really liking, and I'm not. I think Damsel's underrated. With Millie Bobby Brown on Netflix, I really enjoyed that. I thought Damsel was fun, and I think more people need to see it, because I really enjoyed it. And I think that I don't know, man. I can only give you underrated at the moment, at this point. But I appreciate the question. Toxic Gamer 51 says, did you ever watch Imaginary, the PG-13 horror movie that came out in March? I never did see it, but maybe one day I will. Collective Movie Man says, I really think that they just need to get rid of streaming services so people don't have to go out and support. So people have to go out and support the movies that they can keep digital, but get rid of the streaming. Look, we're in a streaming world now. Streaming, the Pandora's box is opened. It can't go back in the box. You've given people streaming. You can't take it away now. It's there. It's out in the world. We have it. We're accustomed to it. We have streaming. That's just it. And selfishly, I am a supporter of the movie theaters. I want to go see movies in theaters. But I want my streaming services too. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, yeah, those people sitting on their butts watching streaming services, they need to get out. No, I do that. That's me. I sit and watch streaming services. I'm going through Boy Meets World right now on Disney Plus. Like I'm watching Drake and Josh on Paramount Plus. I mean, a lot of older shows, but like it's the catalog, of streaming that we have. So I don't want to get rid of streaming services. Keep the streaming services around, but I do think that if you're going to, put $50 million, sometimes $100 million into a streaming movie, maybe reevaluate and put that movie into theaters, or distribute that money a bit more to make smaller movies that can go into theaters, or maybe make smaller movies in streaming services but leave the bigger movies in the theaters, because I really don't understand these like $200 million movies that get dumped on streaming. Like where are you going to make your money? But I don't understand that at all. But I don't think getting rid of streaming services entirely is the answer. Dragon Movie Guy, what's going on, my buddy? Thank you for joining, dude. Says, love the show, Zach. I appreciate that so much, dude. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I'm convinced Giancarlo Esposito can play any Marvel role, and I'll be hyped, especially Magneto, Doctor Doom, and Professor X. I see him more as a Magneto than I do a Professor X, but going back to what I was saying about him being typecasted as a villain, Professor X would be the exact opposite of that, and I would love to see him take someone out in a wheelchair for a change. My Breaking Bad fans? You get that one? I think Giancarlo Esposito would be great as Professor X, but I see him more as Magneto at the moment. Dragon Movie Guy says, have you seen The Bear Season 3 trailer that just came out? Great show for Season 1 and 2. Tons of Emmy noms. I'm super excited for The Bear Season 3. I've actually not watched the trailer. I don't want to. I mean, I'm not usually like that, but for this one, I'm just like, you know what? It comes out in a couple weeks. I'm good. I'm watching it. I'm gonna watch it. So I don't need to see a trailer for it. I'm sure the trailer is great though, because the show is great. James Horman, thank you for joining, James. Thank you for being here, my friend. Glad to have you here. What is ISS? ISS was a movie about it was Russian astronauts and American astronauts in the International Space Station when all of a sudden a nuclear war between Russia and America happens on Earth, and they're both ordered to take over the International Space Station by any means necessary. And it was supposed to be a psychological thriller. It seemed like it was had a really great trailer, a great premise. In the end, I was let down by it. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Toxic Gamer 331 says, how would you rank these last movies in big franchises from worst to best, with wrapping these franchises up? All critically panned endings, by the way. Jurassic World Dominion, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and Matrix Resurrections. Well, unfortunately, I have to leave Matrix Resurrections out because I didn't bother seeing that one, so I still haven't seen that. So that one has to be excluded. As far as from worst to best goes, Jurassic World Dominion's at the bottom. I think they butchered the entire idea of dinosaurs roaming the earth entirely. They filled it with large locusts, and they wasted the original cast. So Jurassic World Dominion is the worst of those, followed by Rise of Skywalker, because I think Rise of Skywalker completely tarnished the ending of Return of the Jedi and Anakin Skywalker's arc and redemption for cheap fan service to try to win back fans who jumped off after The Last Jedi. So Rise of Skywalker is the next one. And then Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, I will put as the least worst because I don't hate the movie. It's watchable. It's a serviceable adventure film with Indiana Jones. But the third act really lost me. I didn't really enjoy it. So of those three, I think I like Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny the most. Toxic Gamer 331 says, have you watched Friday the 13th movies? If so, what are your thoughts on the ones you've watched? Haven't seen any of them, but I might change that soon. Toxic Gamer 331 says, my favorite is the 2009 reboot, and the final chapter is second. Third is Jason Lives. Those are my favorites. All the other ones are fine or worse. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Like I said, I haven't seen any of them. Have you seen that with T? Says Daisy Ridley started a movie this year called Sometimes I Think About Dying. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year. She is so great in it. I heard so many great things about that movie. It completely passed me by in my theaters. I haven't thought about it much since, and I didn't even know that it was like out anywhere. So haven't seen it on Netflix in Canada, haven't seen it on Amazon Prime, haven't seen it on Disney Plus, haven't seen it on Paramount. I don't know where it is, unless I've just missed it. But I definitely want to check it out because I've heard nothing but great things about it. And I'm rooting for Daisy Ridley. I think she's a great actress. The Laser says, what do you do for work? At the moment, I am freshly new at working at a car dealership in the parts department, where I know nothing about parts. So I am learning everything from the ground up. I don't know anything about cars. I'm not mechanically inclined. So I'm learning everything about it. On top of that, I also do some shuttle drives for people, picking them up, dropping them off. I wash some cars. I take out the garbage. I do the labor work around there. It's a good job. It's really awesome. The people are great. The environment's great. I'm 2 months into it at the moment, so it's going well. But it's a lot of work, and it's a lot to learn. So it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Coming from a job where I just drove around my city all day and listened to podcasts, it's a big change, but it's also a good change. Toxic Gamer 331 says, this one's a bit of a different question, but when I get married later in life, if I invite you, Zach, would you come? I would definitely want to. I would definitely be honored, and thank you so much that you even are considering that. That's amazing. I mean, if we could make it work, we'd make it work. So yeah, honestly, dude, put me down on the guest list. I'll be there. That's so nice of you. I don't even know where I'll be, but I'll make it. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I'm gonna head out now. Great stream as always from a great guy. Hope you hit your goal before the end of the year and have a good rest of your day or night. And everyone always remember pizza time. Well, thank you, Toxic Gamer, for being here, for being in the chat, for talking with us. And the show is made better because you were a part of it, my friend, and I appreciate you, dude. You have a good night. The Laser said, they said that Kung Fu Panda 5 should release in about 3 years because now they got to make it 5 times better than the first movie. Dang, this franchise is going to be 20 years old in 4 years. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to be 20 years old. After Kung Fu Panda 4, I could take or leave a fifth one. I didn't hate Kung Fu Panda 4. I thought it was fine. But I did think it was the least of the trilogy. Or of the movies that we had. Now it's not a trilogy anymore. Now it's 4 films. But yeah, no, it wasn't my favorite. So I'm sure 5 will be fun. I'm sure it'll be cute. But I could take it or leave it at this point. The Laser says, how was your first reaction to Toy Story 5 being announced back in February of 2023? And do you think they will announce a Toy Story 6? Well, I don't doubt a Toy Story 6, especially if Toy Story 5 makes money like they think it will. I do have, we covered that on the show whenever it was dropped, so you can find the original video of me talking about it. But I believe my original reaction was a little bit of hesitance because Toy Story 4 I was hesitant about because they were coming off of a great trilogy. I didn't want them to tarnish that. But they always talked about how they had a great idea for Toy Story 4, how they had this idea pop into the mind of Toy Story 3 was the end of Andy's story, but they never finished Woody's story. And once they had that thought enter their minds, it was like an itch that they needed to scratch, and they needed to make another Toy Story 4. Whereas Toy Story 5 just comes across to me as, Disney had a terrible box office year in 2023. What movies made $1 billion? Toy Story made $1 billion. Frozen made $1 billion. Zootopia made $1 billion. Every movie that's ever made $1 billion, make a sequel. That's how that announcement felt to me for all those movies. So I'm looking forward to Toy Story 5 because the Toy Story films have given me no reason to doubt them yet. But the reasoning behind it seems more like a cash grab than a creative choice. That's how my feelings on it are. The Laser says, Toxic Gamer, I would go to your wedding. That's awesome. The Laser, I have loved this stream, man. Oh, well, dude, I've loved having you here. Thank you so much. You guys are what makes this stream, makes this show, as I like to call it. You guys are what makes this show possible. You guys are what makes this show even a thing. So I appreciate all of you guys that are here, contributing to the chat and talking and, yeah, just making the show a show. Third Party Studio, what's going on, Third Party Studio? Thanks for joining. Good to have you in here. It says, when I think about what makes a great movie, I ask if the movie has rewatch value. Back and see this film again. What is the most important thing for a movie to deliver for you to consider its quality? for me, it's all about character and story. For me, it's all about, you can rewatchability. I can see what you mean, but there's also great movies where I don't want to watch them again. Like, whether they're hard hitting, whether they're hard to watch again, whether they're just sad, or I just don't want to relive that. But they can still be great movies. But for me, a movie, it's got to have a good story, and it's got to have good characters. And characters are even more important than the story for me, because a movie can have problems in its story. It can have a weak story, but if I love the characters, they can carry it through for me. But on the opposite side, if a movie has a great story, if it's riveting, but the characters don't work for me, or I don't think the characters are very good, that can almost ruin it entirely. So characters and story have always been the most important thing to me. You've got to get those right. Everything else can be hit or miss if you want it to be, but the characters and the story, that's what's most important to me. And ultimately, that's what's gonna keep me coming back, is the characters and the story. So very good point, though, with the rewatchability. I can see where you're coming from with that. The Laser says, oh, I never thought of it like that, third party. Yeah, that's very true. Third Party Studio says, I saw you commented on one of my videos, so I thought I'd swing by. Yeah, I saw one of your videos. I believe I saw it today. So, hey, thank you for swinging by. Thank you for stopping here, and I hope you'll stick around. I hope you join us for more shows. It'd be an honor to have you join our community. And, yeah, thank you so much for the question, and thank you so much for being here. And with that, guys, that is the last comment and question that I have in the chat box. It has been 2.5 hours, probably more like 2 hours and 10 minutes when you take away all of our audio issues at the beginning. But that's going to be the show. That is Zach Milne Talks Live, episode 87. Thank you, everybody who was here, sending in your comments and questions, making the show happen. We will be back again, guys. We've got I don't know, some movies coming out this weekend I'll watch. I'll probably review it. We got Members Talk Live shooting on the members page. If you want to join us at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, you can watch live at the $2.99 tier, or you can actually join us on the show at the $6.99 tier a month. You can actually come on camera, chat with us. All the information for that is down in the description below. Next month, guys, with Zach Milne Talks Live, we are back into collab month. I've got some collabs that I'm going to get set up. We're going to have some people come in here. I'm going to chat with them. You're going to chat with us. Collab month is back for June. It's going to be great. With all that said, guys, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure. And I'll be back again. We'll be back again next week on the same exact time, same exact channel.